Okay, they need to stop the bot. There's 10 seconds left.
10 seconds.
All right, they got this. They brought the bot back. Who stole the bot?
Kev's just stolen it again. They need to hit the rotation, but are they gonna be quick enough? Landed slams already down the boss point away from them.
Let's get into it.
Phenomenal.
The big story behind this match is not just the rivalry between these two teams, because there's a lot of respect and friendship between these players, but also a lot of rivalry as well. But the big thing is that Space Station has been cooking up a lot of Ramattra, Symmetra stuff. Now, this was prior to the Orisa nerf, obviously. So that these guys had been kind of utilized to counter Orisa. And what it does is that the beam is consistent pressure onto Orisa, even through Javelin Spin, even through Fortify. And you couple that with the frontline presence of the Ramattra, who could absorb a lot of the pressure that you put onto a Symmetra. Because Symmetra is fragile on the front line. But he will absorb a lot of that pressure that allows the Symmetra to continue to focus the front line while still being a pretty good tanky guy as a result. That's the big thing. And they have butchered teams playing into Orisa, playing this. I think the team Peps, they full capped in like 3 minutes. They butchered Orisa teams. Well, Gunba's not going to go down easily. And so what had happened prior to even this match, the match before this match, was that Gunba was already cooking up some counter comps to this. We've seen some Sigma, we've seen some Bastion, we've seen some Symmetra, we've seen some Tracer, we've seen some, not Symmetra, excuse me, we've seen some Mei. And they've been trying a lot of different approaches to try and isolate and weaken the Symmetra and or just take superior off angles. The other thing that's worth pointing out as well is that we've been seeing a little bit more Brigitte. I'm not a fan. I'm going to talk more about why over the course of this VOD, but I'll give you guys the short TLDR. Brigitte is really good at holding space, very bad at moving. Very bad at moving. King of the Hill, push-pull, whatever, she's Tusol. And Lucio is better. And not only that, but Brigitte is not consistent always at holding off angles unless the Brig is really smart, and I don't think Masa knows how to play Brig in these kind of comps as well as he ought to. We'll talk more about that later, but yes. Okay, we'll take a look here. Now, I don't think Psycho is going to play Symmetra here, but I wanted to point that out nonetheless because this has been the strategy that ENCE has been using. Because a lot of times Space Station has been putting Backbone in on Symmetra and then rolling out with this composition to beat them. This time, Space Station is going to roll out with Cassidy Tracer, I'd anticipate, but they're still going to roll out with the Ramattra, which ENCE is still going to try and counter with the Bastion. Bastion is really good versus Ramattra because all you do is you have to do this versus Bastion. You can't javel him, you can't spin him, you can't pin him, you can't fire strike, you can't shatter. Your ultimate's not that good versus a turret Bastion, and so Ramattra struggles into Bastion, and yet Hadi remains playing it. I don't know exactly why. I'm not sure if it's because Hadi likes the Ramattra versus the Sigma, so there's at least threat there. I don't know if because Ramattra can get a lot of value in Omnic form, just with his shooting weapon versus a Bastion. It's hard to say.
So interesting. And you heard that there first.
And we're going to have the comms turned down way down here, just so you guys can hear a little bit, but not too much here. So rotation through here. Looking to rotate onto backline. Remember, they have the Lucio. The other team has the Brigitte. They're going to run Soldier instead of Tracer in this map because the angles and the flanks are way longer in sight lines. So you play like a Tracer. They're rotating on them. They're rotating on them. They're rotating on them. I'm going to put a little bit more emphasis on analyzing SSG. You guys know I always come in with a slight bias towards one team because it's easier to focus a little bit more on one team than it is on both. But we will obviously look at both teams, but I think SSG is going to be more of my emphasis there. So you can already see here, Tracer marking the Soldier angle. Just basically keeping him busy. Ramattra on point, Baptiste here, and what I anticipate is probably Lucio Cassidy going on the far left side. 2v1 flank. And yes, there it is. So there's your Lucio Cassidy off-angle maxing. And what this does is this makes it pretty much impossible for Kai or Vastol to walk on the point without being shot. Because the one angle is being contested by Tracer. The other angle is not being contested at all, and it's just Tracer Cassidy. And this is where Bastion is really weak. Because Bastion really is not very... Like you couldn't just go, oh, we'll just have our Bastion Brig push the Cassidy. No, you can't. Because Bastion's just bad versus anything that's not a tank. He gets poked out way too easily. If they tried to 2v2 the 2v2, they would lose 100% of the time, even with hurt form. It's too fat, too slow, too hard, too easy to abuse, and so on. And Brig is also too slow as well. So this is where I think the flaws of ENCE's comp starts to really come into play. And there's situations where it might work. I just don't know if this is the map. And as long as Psycho doesn't die here, they should be... Oh, wow, that tracking is insane. There's the lamp. Again, do you see the angles here? Do you see the angles here? It's actually insane. Kevster just beat Psycho, though. Kevster has to do work here. Kevster has to not only win that 1v1, and he does. Yes, he does. So this is where I'd say I like the setup from Space Station, but honestly, Psycho just got diffed. He just got absolutely lasered by Kevster there. Huge issue. Can Bastion even effectively take an off angle even with the break? Not consistently, no. Now, this is crucial, okay? We saw this on the match before this one on Esperanca. When you're playing Bastion Brig, this duo is so incapable of consistently taking off angles versus you, you could go, oh, let's have more, okay? Even more greed. Because a Ashe Lucio could do the exact same thing and do even more. And the problem with Ashe is that you can rush her, you can push her, you can close the distance, you can make her move. No, you can't. You're playing Brig. You're not. There's no Lucio. There's no Bastion. No. So just go full greed mode. They get full greed mode. So you just greed it up. This is a good swap. So they might try to brute force in this room here, but I actually don't care if SSG even rotates the point. Force the Sigma to move the point. Hey, it's just a little bit of a cooking. They're cooking a little bit. I don't know. I don't like this rotation from SSG. I think it's because they have the Brawl old advantage. They just want to go in with beat. But I actually think that part of your advantage is actually opening up the map more for your Ashe Tracer. So yes, you have Lucio, which is better in those close spaces versus Brig. And yes, you have Ram, which is better in those close spaces versus Sig. But actually, your DPS would much rather prefer you to take the fight in more open space. And I think with the window and with them having a rally, I don't like this fight plan from SSG. So generally, when we look at SSG, we talk about a team that's very good with systems, generally has a really good fight plan. You're going to find more often than not that SSG makes the right fight plan for the situation. I would say 80% of the time, which is, I think, a really high success rate. That one I don't like. They did force both support ults, but they used the BAP one and a pulse of their own. So I don't like them meeting there. I'd prefer them to pull them the point, set at the greediest Ashe angle that you possibly can, and then BAP window from there. This is a slightly different situation because they don't really have any ults to match them there, so let's see how they set this up. There's the Bastion Brig angle. Now they actually have space to do it because they're on defense. Sigma on here. BAP in the back. There's the Flux. Can they cap the BAP? Tease, they do. They get Lamp and Beat, and Lannon is still low. Tactical Visor on the off angle here. And I really want to know where Sparker is. Sparker is not on a great angle here. What is this setup here? I honestly feel like... Yeah, Landon just gets caught in rotation here. Landon really needed to play closer to here. Ram here. We needed Funny Aster and Sparker like more aggressively angling here. But it ends up they did just catch Landon in a really bad spot. I think this is just an int from Landon. He should not have been there. They should not have been in a position to where Beat and Lamp was necessary, and Landon dies anyway. That's just poor setup from Landon. He needs to play his cover a lot better. He needs to watch the crossfire. And now this fight has basically been a giant mess. So, mechanical play... Bad rotation given the fight plan, and then an individual int from Landon. But I do want to give credit to Vistola there to recognize and hit that rotation. Oh, that was a nice play. Nice helix. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Why are the off angles inconsistent on Bastion Brig? Because they're slow. They're very slow. They're bad up close. They're bad from far away. Bastion is a tank buster. He's not a duelist. And deep heroes that are duelists are bad at controlling off angles. Ryan possibly just to get the point faster, but also could be to... it is a little bit ironically better versus the Bastion, because you could just hard shield and disengage. Flank Ashe, flank Bob. We love it. I don't know where the Lucio help was. Astro might have been helping on point. There's the swing. Good push there from Hadi. Yeah, Lucio was helping on point. They're trying to touch point. Yeah, this is a mess. Crimzo, both supports are low. Hadi is diving backline right now. And just gets 2. Nice. So the support line was able to anchor point while Hadi cleared the supports, which was good. Really, really nice stuff. Clutch stuff from Hadi and a very nice pop. What do you suggest instead of Bastion? I just don't like the Bastion. The Bastion's more of a counter cop and ramp. On this map, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good. But it's their, I think it's their, it just feels like their attempt to try and prevent them from playing some of these sem comps and such. Or these anti-ramp comps. And I think like focusing that hard on the ramp is not that good. Definitely not that brig. Okay, so they're going to go to May now. And now this is like no off-angle control. No off-angle control. Hang on, guys. No off-angle control whatsoever. Force the fight on point. Wall off the Rhine. Kill the Rhine. And they have Rally to help them do it. Now, it shouldn't work because the off-angle control should be pretty weak. A solo May should struggle here. But let's see. There's the rally. Early rally. Hadi's tanking it. The off-angles from the BAP. Off-angle from the Spark. It's odd to me as well. Like, I don't understand Sparker's setup here. Sparker has been angle maxing this entire game, and yet he's here. I don't understand. This is like the second time in a row where I've really questioned the backline setup. Like he's playing so much more passively. And it's really hurting his damage output. Because like look at his sightlines here, right? It's just blocked by drum. So this should be way more damage pressure. I like the angle here from Psycho, but way more damage pressure, and it's not. And then also Psycho, who I would prefer to deepen his angle from far side, to actually wrap around and catch the Bastion Baptiste. He tries to cut the point. I assume to try and help Hadi out to juggle point, but I don't think it's necessary, and he just gets nuked. He just gets nuked. But yeah, Sparker and Baptiste being on the same angle to be shut off by Sig Shield, and this is really, really bad setup from SSG. For both Psycho and Sparker, they're not well played. And now Hadi should be in trouble. I just don't like this, man. Nice catch there from Vistolo with the shift. And this should be cooked. Like, ENCE has managed to somehow keep SSG all in the one room. And I'll give credit to Vistola there for setting that up well. But SSG looks totally incompetent right now. So I'm confused. Really, really poor setups there from SSG throughout almost the entire map. Okay, they're going to roll out on the Greed Max because they're probably anticipating Bastion here. This map also has a little bit of verticality to utilize the coach gun. That's pretty much all there is to it. Tracer here because the map is a little bit too narrow, not long sightline enough to justify the soldier. And they probably don't want to really roll out on the May just in case they want to leverage point. Kevster can utilize the off angle and so on. I think this is a fine comp here. Again, with the Brig is a strange choice. I just think the push-pull on Koth is too important with Lucio. But yeah, the way the Brig would work here is Brig would kind of hold a room here, pocket the Tracer better than a Lucio through packs and whip shots and stuff, and try to win that 2v2. But I'm not even sure that that's consistent enough because the Lucio could just sit on top of the Tracer and do the exact same thing. Although it's not as effective at healing, at least he could do damage. Yeah, I agree with you, Bigo. I think Sparker really carried this game. No spoilers, but for right now, I think that... Oh, that's just a mistake. And that's why you run the Tracer too. Because if the guy's going to roll out in Ashe, Tracer does pretty well at making Ashe roll around. And that's super unfortunate. Like that's just a free fight win because of a goof up there. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe? Vistola's low. Vistola should die. Points available. Landon's got a nice little angle there. Ooh, maybe he doesn't have a nice angle. Okay. Kai's going to go Cassidy. I think Kai's given up the Bastion experiment because the Ashe Tracer is just not good enough. I think Hadi needs to get out there. But yeah, you can see exactly like why the Ashe works well there if you're able to keep her alive because there's just so much pressure there. Vistola's going to go Orisa. And there's no more, and that's because there's no more Bastion that you need to necessarily provide that sort of cover for. And so now you can just kind of play eagerly to kind of avoid damage and so on. Play more for the front line.
Psycho has just been getting taken out in so many of these fights so early.
Ashe outclasses Cass in most cases. It depends. Depends on the sight line of the map. Ashe can't take near as aggressive off angles without being pushed. Cassie's way, way, way beefier in the short to mid ranges. So you'll see probably a lot more creative lengths with the Cassidy than with the Ashe. With the Ashe, it's more about like just holding the sight lane. Last one was bad because there was space to take creative angles and then he didn't take it. Retake there, they're going to disengage the BAP window. They just need to chill. They just need to chill. If Astol tries to push off of the BAP window, gets Fortify forced, and this is a huge opportunity for SSG to push back in. They've seen window, they've seen Fortify. They're close to their own window as well. Brig is isolated, Moss is isolated. They have the high ground now. This should be just, yeah, I was going to say, straight up fight win there. Kiting the point is just GG's. They didn't even need a BAP window there. They just take all the off angles away. Why would Kai not change the Sojourn here? Because generally, the impression is that this is the impression of the Cassidy versus the Sojourn. If you are able to hit your rails, Sojourn's going to be good. But the other thing that people don't talk about enough is that Cassidy just has better neutral pressure if you don't have to move as much. Think about it this way. How many times is Kai going to wish that he had Sojourn slide? Versus this comp. Maybe if he gets dove by Tracer. Not as likely if I also have my Tracer. Not as likely on this map. I will probably be able to manage my space. I don't think I'll need my slide. That's basically all it's been. The reason teams have transitioned to Cassidy is there's more neutral pressure that's not reliant off of the rail. And generally, these comps have more resembled short-range brawl without quite so aggressive, these crazy high mobile isolation kills on dive where you need the Sojourn. And the thing is when Hottie starts to run, that is true. That is true. And I think like this is like what you've seen like a real-time evolution of understanding. How many of you guys heard from content creators and pros that Cassidy was bad post season 9? Turns out the projectile changes changed things a lot for Cassidy. And you're hitting a lot more shots. How many of you guys saw the, did you guys see the lip clip from when we were analyzing, I forget what match, it might have been the crazy record, I don't remember, on Esperanca? He hit literally like 6 headshots in a row, and they just won. You know, the clip, if you will, yeah. But that's what Cassidy does now. Like, and he does it a lot more. Because you could go, oh, well, he has more HP and his Hinder is good. And so, but all of those things were there before. I think the thing that's changed is Sojourn lost her essential one shot. And Cassidy hits, I think, benefits more from the Season 9 changes than Sojourn. That's what I think is the real difference. That's the real difference. The roll and all the other stuff is already there. And then, yeah, there's stuff like the roll is useful in the damage reduction from High Noon. But pros learn things too. Like they don't, a patch doesn't come out and the pros go, oh, Cassie's broken. It takes experimentation. Like stuff takes time to settle out. Would Castle be good if the meta was more divey? Probably not as good, no. There's the rally, they force it, they beat. And this is the important part. You forced all this frontline push. But chat, where's, you see it? There's the off angle. Frontline pressure, nothing marking this angle. Kai gets probably one shot. Literally one shot. Beat, window, GG's. Now, I will say the beat was a little bit unnecessary there. I'm not going to lie with you guys. Hottie's fine. He could just block. I don't like this beat from Astro at all. But the window push from Hottie is good. And also, it's not a 3-for-1 isn't terrible if it's rally, because rally is probably the strongest ultimate that ENCE has. Do you think this Castle will shift post match from today? Maybe. If it shifts heavier into dive, potentially. Yes, I've spoken about the patch. Check the previous VOD. I should make a command. Sorry, chat. Give me 1 second. What do I have here? Okay, they have to make this work. They have basically no ultimates. Psycho's on the flank. Psycho's getting marked. They match them on the choke. Psycho actually blinks through main. And I don't know what happened there. I have no idea. There was lamp available. I think Crimzo Masa just messed up. One of the things that you guys are going to have to kind of keep in mind is that Crimzo Masa are the weak point of this team for sure. Especially when you compare them to Space Station. But I think the general impression from this match is that I think Space Station DPS also looked better this game as well. Yeah, 2 old men, pretty much. So I think this wasn't just, oh, support line bad. I think SSG also played really well DPS-wise as well. Retaking, there's the push. There's the high noon. They don't quite get the boop. Hottie block, hottie disengage. And now this is important. SSG cannot just stand here. There has to be some sort of a push up through here, or a push up through here, or a retaking of high ground or something. Because you're going to see a BAP window and a pulse here. And it's going to kill everybody if there isn't some attempt to retake space. Oh, yeah. There's the reattempt to retake space. It's good. It might not be enough to win, but it's enough to force window. It's enough to force lamp. It's enough to buy time. It's enough to cause stress. It's enough to call pressure. Pulse bomb almost hits there on Crimzo. Again, Psycho already has another pulse bomb. That's crazy. And notice that they're still alive as well. So SSG does a much better job there, I think, in terms of like losing space and then not just giving up, but like trying to retake it, even though Funny Aster just got rolled. I don't know what the plan is here. Now they're going to force point with probably window the second they drop, so they'll probably see a BAP window right here. The question is Vestola just going to go 3-2-1 and Orisa ult? The answer is probably yes. Yeah, there's the BAP window and the boop to follow up from Masa. There it is, Masa. Caught Sparker? Wait, what happens with Sparker's nade here? Sparker sticks Kai. Bam, bam. Messy trades. But yeah, Landon got smoked there. Unorthodox retake there from Space Station that obviously had its weak points. I mean, Psycho was good last year, y'all. Nothing has changed, in my opinion. Psycho is just as good as he was last year. He's just on a better team now. That's all. Wow, there you go. Well played by ENCE. Honestly, Space Station trolled first round so badly. And then the second round here is like, I think the over ult with beat really, really hurt them. I think that's by far the biggest issues from there. Yeah, and ENCE deserves it. I think ENCE's comp was just awful, but SSG was just looked pretty bad. Pretty bad. Okay. We'll do that. We won't take a break for this one. That map is pretty short, so we'll jump right into the next one. But after this one, we'll take a short break. Okay. Now, I was gonna say it. Surely they're gonna swap off of Vermatra into this composition. So this is what I would like to call full on. We do not want you to play Brawl. I don't want you on Ryam. I don't want you on Malga. I don't want you on Rhine. Orisa's pretty good versus this, but even Orisa has a tendency here. This is all ruin your tank's day, and then have the Brigitte hold an off angle and so on. Kev may go Tracer later on, in which case this is okay. The reason why Brig is played a lot here is just because she can kind of hold an off angle, and because it's not King of the Hill or push, she doesn't have to move as much. And so the limitations of her movement are a little bit less like a little bit less of a problem. You can kind of have her hold a spot. Like what makes Brig strong is she holds what I like to call a red box. And she makes it really hard to push in on that spot because she knocks you away and so on. Lucio does that too. And in many ways does it better, as well as being able to move around more. But what Lucio can't do is Brig can say, oh, this is my red box, but I can also help you, and I can also help you, and I can also help you with armor packs. That's what makes Brig unique. So if you don't have to move your red box around as much, you're really, really cooking with Brig. And this is where I think Brig makes a little bit more sense. Just because on this map, it's probably not going to be as much moving. A little bit more holding high grounds, holding angles, and stuff like that. This is still kind of sus. I'm not going to lie with you guys. What I would do here if I was Space Station is you could run the Lucio if you want to make easier rotations and so on. I would go Sigma Mirror, and I would slap Sparker on Ashe to outpoke both, really everything. And I think you might be cooking. I have not seen what they swap to here. They go Ryan. Okay? Ryan works as well because Ryan can close the distance with speed on top of these guys and do a lot of hurt. Ryan, a lot of you guys need to understand that Ryan's value with shielding off the amount of pressure that these kind of guys can put, even for a short period of time, is a big deal.
There you go. The shield is just so nice too because I think that they're so quick on the rotations.
All right, let's see what they got.
Also just
Psycho's probably... I don't think they're going to rotate as 5 here. They might, though. So, yeah, okay, so what they'll do is they'll rotate as 5, and then Psycho will go into their spawn, which I like. I like that rotation. That's a good rotation. Then you set up your flank for backline from there. Shoot shield, shoot shield, shoot shield, shoot shield. Our shield's a little bit bigger, even if your shield breaks pretty good. Because their Bastion won't even want to use turret form here to break shield, because they could just duck behind. So they stand there, shoot shield, force them back, tracer flanks. Why they go top? Because this comp can't match them M top. Because Ryan with Lucio will just run them over. Run them over. It's a very rare rotation, but it situationally makes sense. Ryan's charging shield, and here we go. There's a tracer. They actually send the tracer off back this way, but again, still off angle, pushing, close the distance, and so on. And this is also, by the way, the other thing too as well, Ryan is actually really good versus Brig, because it's another target to swing on. Basically, there's literally 5 targets that Ryan can realistically, with a little support, kill. That can't avoid him. That cannot avoid him. So Brig really struggles into these brawl like Ryan Lucio comes because they so quickly get on top of her. Remember the red box theory? You can kind of control the box. Yeah, but that's only true if you can keep away the targets. But if there's like 75 different targets with Lucio speed, you can't whip shot that one away. It's too much. And there it is. You see it? They're going for Brig. There's the bash. Now the angle is being set up with the tracer. Now the angle is being set up with the Cassidy. Do you guys see it? They're slowly getting choked out of space here. Now Hottie needs to chill for a little bit here. Yeah, Hottie beefed that one. Hottie beefed that one. What they need to do is Hottie needs to play a little bit more chill. And I want more aggressive rotations from the backline here, to be honest with you guys. Like, I want a lot more. I don't want my backline sitting in here. I think they waited too long. But they do get a trade. Sparker angle. Masa does... I don't know what Masa does. Masa bashes in and then just immediately dies because that's... I have no idea. And now Kevster tries to bail that out. Sigma is here. This is going to be tough. They need to break the shield immediately. They're going to rotate away? Okay, no, they're going to rotate away. Or try to. Yes, they could have Depriest, but Hottie was a little low.
That's crazy. A flux this early?
Yeah, Vistola is just absolutely farming. There's the BAP window. There's the BAP window mirror. There's the turret. Landon dies the Kevster spam. That's just a one-shot. There's the angle maxing that we wanted to see. There's your angle maxing! This is the weakness of this comp. They can't take DPS duels in the flank with any supported pocket. These characters have massive hitboxes. You put Kevster, or Sparker, excuse me, Psycho, with any sort of pocket, and they just immediately die. If you put all of these resources behind a BAP window, yes, anything dies. But as soon as you start taking duels, they're done. They're done. And so look what happens. There's Lamp, everyone's low, Funny Astro beats, and they angle max. Flank, bam! Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Now, he does get a fat flux, and there's no Lamp. I'm surprised he didn't finish Sparker there. That was weird. And that's it. Okay. Messy. Messy, messy, messy from Space Station. There's the Orisa swap. Gives a little bit more frontline presence versus the Ryan. This is the worst event of your week. Tragic. Sparker goes Ash because the only real angle or flank you could take here is a little bit too close, and so you might as well just take a sight lane and poke out. And that kind of goes back to what I was expecting, but yeah. Honestly, SSG just needs a force card here. Force card. Alright, I'm not gonna lie with you guys. I think Kai's Bastion ults suck. I have not seen this one. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. He will not. Well, okay. Anyway, Sparker picks off Crimzo on the off angle. Torbold is wasted, and that's a big one, guys. Torbold is actually probably ENCE's best ult here. Even more so than the rally versus this composition. And he just does jack all. More angle maxing from Sparker. There's just nothing that's going to contest him. Kevster's going to swap. Kevster's going to swap. And I think, honestly, Kai should probably swap, too. Maybe they keep on the Bastion and just throw in a flanker. Maybe a Tracer or something. Okay, no, he's going to go Sojourn. The Sojourn is not a calculated swap, I promise you. It's just like, this character feels bad. Let me try something else. Sparker's the only guy that I've actually liked Bastion as Bastion ults. Oh, that is not the play from Space Station. I think they're like, oh, let's push the Brig, but Moss is baiting with Rally, and this off angle is brutal. Good shatter, though. They get the shatter. Oh, this angle is so toxic. Oh, this could go either way. Space Station is dumping the kitchen sink at it, but the positioning was awful. I really don't think the push there. But you could definitely see the SSG wants Brig. They love Brig. They want to give Brig a big fat kiss. They think that Ryan is good versus the Brig and Moss is dead. And it is. I actually think Masa should probably swap Lucio versus this composition. Even on this map, I think if they're going to commit to the full Lucio, Ram, Tracer, I mean, maybe Masa has to be so careful with judging his distance. Yeah, there's the Lucio swap. Chefster goes Soldier just because Tor bad versus Poke comps. Now, the interesting one here is Hadi goes Ram, and I think that's, again, going back to he just wants to play Ram into Orisa. Doesn't like playing the Ryan into the Orisa.
Oh yeah, we've got the point. No worries. Taking the elevator up. Yeah, I love that. Just being able to grab that.
And I think a lot of it is just being able to maintain constant pressure on Orisa with your Omnic form without taking too much damage. Kevster goes Widow. I actually like this. It's a really, really good character for what Space Station is playing and where Space Station is playing. So if Kevster hits his shots, I think the character's good. And really, for Space Station, they actually just have to force cart. There's not really a whole lot they can do. Their Tracer doesn't even have an angle to set up on. Oof. Am I mewing? I'm always mewing. That's my secret. Mew maxing. Ooh, Astro. They desperately... Okay, this is where Hadi honestly wishes he was on Ryan, because they could actually force point with Ryan. Because of the longer shield. But actually, Ram can't even force point versus this. Sparker will probably play for Bob, but you got to be creative here. ENCE's comp is like actually so toxic on this third point.
Right now with the Widowmaker, and I think Sparker just having the Bob is going to find more value being able to use that ultimate.
Well, I don't have... This is a video, guys. Kefri over Kevster Widow. Honestly, if you're Space Station here, I think you probably just ult dump here. Just use everything. See if you can make it messy. Create some space for your Tracer to close the distance like this, right? And just worst case scenario, you swap. Oh my days. They're still ult dumping though, and they're still getting close. They just need to blow Bob, honestly. They just needed to blow Bob. They needed to blow Beat. They just... I think, like, if you're operating at a disadvantage with comp, your best bet is just to throw everything at the kitchen sink. Like, again, mostly just to close the distance. You know? So you can actually get onto Kevster and get onto Kai. You guys are awful. I can't. Yeah, I have nothing to add. You guys are the worst. And this is also something that I guarantee the SSG is not practice versus, so they're real-time problem solving right now. Okay, so they get close. They're able to get Psycho in the flank. There's the Bob on the backline. It hits the window. It will be broken relatively quickly, but it does buy them space. It also forces Fortify, and it allows time for Psycho to isolate. Landon gets smoked. That's just a mistake from Landon. Psycho! No way Psycho lives. No way Psycho lives. Psycho is dead. No, Psycho is not dead. Kevster headshot Psycho. But this is what we want, right? Ult dump just so you can get close. Because even in this mess, like, you're still... Okay, yeah, like, we haven't won this fight by any means. But also, we've at least closed the distance. And with respawns here, like, people actually have space. Like, now the Widow's stuffed in spawn. You see this? And we've skipped the first half to rotate. Like, we're actually here now. I'm really surprised Sparker came back on Ashe. I think that's a mistake. I think Sparker should have gone Widow. Sparker should have gone Widow or, ironically, Cassidy, right? Where, like, okay, we could actually, like, hard flank and set something up. More tank pressure. The Ashe is just... Yeah, there's the Cassidy swap. I can't believe the first time message, and you highlight channel points, first time message, and that's what you have to say.
You can't. And that's going to bring Space Station into the last chance that they have to complete this map. Arguably still very difficult.
A little bit of early info sights from Kevster, I'm not going to lie. That ultimate timing is really important for you to be able to consistently contest Tracer. But SSG has really nothing besides BAP window on point, and they're also going into beat here. I actually think the only thing that SSG can do here is I actually think their best bet would be to 5-man rotate this way and then split off late here. I think you have to shove the Widow, like I think you got to treat Widow like the nerd in middle school, you know what I'm saying? You got to shove her into a locker. I think this area is way too dangerous for both Cypress hold. I think you have to 5-man rotate. Oh my god. Chris, go do something productive with your life. Like, honestly, teach your team how to rotate versus a Widowmaker or something. Or teach Land to, like, just not peek Widow. This guy wins one major tournament and it immediately goes to his head. There we go. Stop projecting. I don't even know what Ohio Gia Rizzlers and Skibbity. Chat, honestly, where did Skibbity Toilet come from? I really actually don't know the answer to that question. Pulse Bomb's good. I don't think they win this, but like this is not bad considering the ult bank they're going into. Sparker, nice shots. Really, really nice angle here from Sparker. Ooh, Kai hits the rail, but will Sparker win? Scarper is just better. Scarper, I say. Scarper is just better. This chat is filled with Ohio. Okay, Space Station eventually figures it out there with a really messy fight there at the end. And yeah. Okay. Oh, let's hear some comms.
Do we want to play Pepper Break?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, break,
big or lose, yeah.
I think Pep break.
Break.
No way, that
Okay.
brig.
Oh, you guys think we run up the stairs? I feel like that's such a fucking troll strat. Like, I feel like
Go through terrain, I don't mind.
What hit scan do you want?
3 for sure into that, I think. Well, I don't know, it's more up to you, I guess.
Okay.
But
So
if
on
you-
ram, just play Cray, I think.
yeah.
Alright, let's push them off the train. Like, let's go through the train. We're not gonna push them off.
I'm down, I'm
Fuck
down.
it. Push them off and then we go down together. Make sure we 3-2-1 the corner.
Keep forcing ramp cooldowns. When we play Pep Break, son.
So basically, the brig is going to allow one of the DPS to rotate deeper and then hold the split for a long time and be able to contest the opposing tracer. Now, is Masa going to do that is the question. Because otherwise, there's actually no reason to play. And honestly, even that is risky because with Lucio speed and Ram and Tracer, you can just potentially squeeze out the brig.
3-2-1 the corner. All push at the same time, try and find a pick.
Like, okay, let's talk really quickly about Lucio, okay? Let's talk really quickly about Lucio. What does Lucio do? Everybody knows Lucio speeds you in, or Lucio speeds you out. You kite ultimates. But let's be honest. That's probably not going to happen, at least the kiting out. You might kite in with an ultimate, a beat, a ram ult, high noon, window maybe. You could speed in and rush these guys down. Yes, could. But the other thing that Lucio does is Lucio can +1 work with a DPS on a flank and never die. Never die. He doesn't die. You can't push him. He's just too fast. It also means that if they try to push on your off-angling DPS, like let's say Sparker holds a really ridiculous off-angle, they can't really push him out as easily either because you could also speed that angle out as well. In fact, there's going to be a very important moment later in this match, on the very last map, where Sparker's going to be able to take whatever angle he wants because they don't have the speed to punish him. So that, and also Astro is insane at Lucio, so play to your character strengths. But a lot of it's just push-pull. It's old economy. And just because you're playing Lucio doesn't mean you can't hold off angles. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. Talked about the red box theory. Lucio's even better at that. The only weakness is that he can't help other people split from him as much.
Especially if they can all play together like this.
There's no way that this is the strategy. There's just no way. I just don't. There's just no way this is the strategy. The javelin is big. The javelin is big. That feels so insanely risky though. And even if you do, like you can't really walk out easily. Is Lucio +1 the cast stronger than the Brig +1? Generally, yes. The Brig is better if she doesn't have to move. The Lucio is better, well, It depends. It depends. It's a good question. It depends. I think the Brigitte one is better, but riskier. And less dynamic with how you can move. The Brig becomes a target in and of herself. The Lucio is better poke, though. Yes, but you're looking at it like from two-dimensional chess. It's funny because I had this exact same conversation with Christopher 2 years ago. Brig is better poke because Brig can enable poke while also holding still. Does that make sense? It's you're technically right. Lucio has better poke damage, but Brig enables the poke comps better because she can sit with Kev and make Kai do more poke damage and make Kremzu do more poke damage. And Lucio speed allows him to take more aggressive risks than Brig can. He can get up closer, whereas Brig doesn't want to necessarily always get up close. Certainly not versus a brawl comp.
Walk into that vortex, give Hardy some additional ult charge, and obviously chunk everybody down. So they're just going to wait that one out.
Sparker needs the angle max, left side. There needs to be marking in there.
At least the high ground portion of it. This window from Crimso super early too. And it's 20% away.
Oh, just a one shot from Kai. Just a one shot. I don't know why there's no angle maxing here. I think what has happened is the Space Station has not cracked down the counter rotations here. So when they've lost the high ground here, they had no other solution. The solution is not easy, right? But I think you have to come up with something. I don't know if that is leaning more into this side. I don't know if it's taking high ground, like putting your backline on the high ground above point, like back here. I don't know if it's something as stupid like speeding your Cassie around this way, but this isn't it. This isn't it. This is like both teams look so confused. Yeah. But this, like, SSG looks so confused about what to do here. Tracer's marking left side. Cassie is trying to mark left side, but like, I mean, like Lannon's literally just standing on point. Like that is never the case. That is never the play. That should never be the play.
One of the best bat players we have in EU and Space Station say the world. Just unable.
Some trading happening here because, you know, Brig. This is the weakness of Brig. As these fights get messy, Brig becomes the most fragile character. And that's it. Oh! Is it double hits game mirror? What is the purpose of Brig then? Pocket your DPS. Look for situations to push their DPS. Is it too late to ask why ENCE swaps to Chase just to still play Orisa? I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. I can maybe take some guesses when we get there, but I have no idea.
So clean with the shots already. Imagine what he might be able to get done with that Deadeye on an angle.
Yeah, a lot of that additional healing is coming from the fact that Master can't proc Inspire a lot of the time. So when they're pushing high ground, most 99% of the healing is coming from
Cast Lucio angle. Bap window probably going to be coming out relatively soon here. There's the Orisa angle. They're trying to poke out the Orisa angle. There's the high nude. Ram needs to live. They can live. The high noon is kind of bad, honestly. It's way too easy to kite this out from their current positions. It's not like they can actually push in here either. There's the BAP window. There's the beat. There's the Arisol. Vistola should die. Vistola does not die. Rally keeps him up. The trade from Hadi needs to be there, and there it is. So let me draw with you guys what this looks like, okay? Here's what this looks like. I want you guys to imagine a wedge, all right? There's SSG here, SSG in the off angle. What ENCE says is, let's zone with high noon to drive a wedge between the two targets. Okay? Then, because we've isolated these guys here and closed the distance, we'll then use our Orisa ult, our Pulse Bomb, our Rally, whatever, to actually kill this side. We push through, and then we kill. The problem with that is if this side has anything to keep themselves alive, this isolation, which they do, with Lamp, Beat, and so on, then they're going to get absolutely smoked from the Forgotten flank, which is this side here, which is the Ramatra Tracer pushing in from behind. So you're going to see it right here. They're going to push through using the high noon, the zone. Then they Orisa ultimate. Yes, they sandwich themselves. That's exactly what happens. You see the sandwich? You see the sandwich? They push backline, and they've closed the distance. Nice job. But they've closed the distance with a Ramatra and a Tracer shooting them in the back. And then as long as that Beat or Lamp and Lamp are good, they're cooked. And that's exactly what happens. This is why I think Brig is so freaking weak, because if this plan was going to work where you just sandwich yourself between two people, you needed to go quickly. You needed to you needed to Ajax the Lucio, you needed to speed in, you needed to isolate, you needed to suck things down, and this is where Brig just is too slow. She's just too slow. And Landon can even die here. Even if Landon dies, they're going to lose this fight. Because there's so many things that Lucio can provide. Lucio could go high noon. Okay, guys, let's zone here. Let's speed our Orisa this way and do the exact same play this way. You guys see what I'm saying? Then we're not getting squeezed. Then we're not getting squeezed. Then we're on the back line without getting shot in the back. You guys see what I'm saying? So high noon main, speed our Orisa this way, and then go from there. That would have worked great. But instead, they go right through main because that takes too long. Yeah, it just takes too long. It just takes too long. It takes too long. Really, with Brig, you honestly just have to kind of hold space and poke people out. Poke people out, poke people out, poke people out, armor back, poke people out. You just can't 3-2-1 push with Brig into a Lucio comp consistently. So really great response there from Space Station. And you can see how efficient it is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 ultimates for 2. And it's just a clean team wipe.
I mean, you saw the duel between Psycho and Kevster was decided when Landon
It's a nice setup from SSG.
send over so much healing. So just another example why Landon has been such a big backline force here for Space Station. And ENCE stopped in their
Psycho
tracks.
angle maxing. There's the Lucio swap. Thank goodness. Early pulse bomb. Angle max from 3 directions. 1, 2, and then from the right side 3. Baggets. Thanks for the sub, mate. 62 months. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Like Space Station, they're playing so aggressively up at this door.
Good question, Stack Baby. I have no idea. I don't have scrimmage insight, so you might be right. It could be. It could be that ENCE is just like throwing random crap at the wall just to mix things up, and the Brig there's some logic behind it. Maybe it plays into what they want to try to play for. I'm sure Gunbuzz definitely cooked something up with it. So yeah. It might be that they just are not competitive in this mirror, so they're just trying something weird. I think that they succeeded with that when it came to trying to play some of the more like Bastion stuff on some of the Koth push. They did pretty good job with that. But yeah, you could be right. You could be right. I mean, there's definitely like let's be honest here. Like I'm being like not insulting, but I'm being like pretty straightforward here. But there is a reason behind why they're doing it. I'm pointing out the reason why it's not working. Now, I will say that sometimes coaches make mistakes. I know I've made mistakes with compositional choices that were there's logic behind it, but it was just bad logic. That might be the case here. It might not. It might be that we're because I mean this went to a map 7. You know what I'm saying? And obviously like the first I mean you guys saw the first Koth round in Busan, right? I didn't like the comp, and yet SSG looked totally lost, and they lost. So there is a really high chance that they're just mixing things up and hoping that they're going to force as many errors as they're going to make themselves. So, we want to see the range breaks. Yeah, I do think I think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, let's keep going here.
Down there's a bit unfortunate.
But the angles from Cassie have been like the setups from SSG have looked a lot better in second point. Yeah, the Brig in the dive stuff is a totally different story. Totally different story. There's the rotation that we were looking for. There's the rotation that we were looking for. Do you guys remember that? Rotate through right side. Don't pincer yourself, right? And they do it quickly before Hadi can even get there. In fact, Astro is not even with his flank there. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Look at that. Immediately onto the backline, and bam, they're dead. Zone's backline, basically solo. Yeah, this is they're cooked. They're cooked. Used to do MMA. Used to train MMA, yes, and teach, yes. Not UFC. That was good. That was really well played by ENCE.
They're happy if they're scrappy, and Hadi actually thought about switching over to the Winston, but goes back to the Ramatra.
Hadi goes Winston to jump out of spawn faster. If you guys want the leaks there, he used Winston to jump back faster.
Scrappy, and Hadi actually thought about switching over to the Winston, but goes back to
yes,
the
I trained
Ramatra.
Khabib. Yes. Angle maxing, Sparker from high ground, blam blam, Crimso's dead.
after Sparker finds that angle again.
You trained for KFC? Well played.
It's crazy.
It's all about
Train.
these
What kind of martial arts?
Vendetta
BJJ,
against
boxing,
the
Muay
Bash.
Thai.
It's just the best pick, right?
Kind of
That is the pick that you
a
want.
hybrid of all of
Take care
those.
the Bash.
Not officially BJJ,
Solo queue
not
back,
officially
games,
Muay
quick
Thai,
games,
but
whatever.
that's what I
Take care of
trained.
the player that's doing the most healing, and you're good.
Or the most damage.
High
So
noon,
Sparker
clear high ground.
definitely have each
They're trying to
other's
catch
numbers
somebody
right
off
now.
guard. They almost got the tracer.
Getting out of the way of the high noon. Terror surge from Vestola. As they go
Back
down
window
to
for high. Vestola is isolated.
well. Was traveling with
They're going to try and kill an isolated section, and they will. Vestola has ult, though. Beat for response. The layering is perfect from SSG. Sparker dies to beat. Somebody needs to die now.
Save Sparker from the pole spot, and now is here's the
So this is a fail from SSG. This should have killed somebody right here. Vestola goes to 42 HP, and somehow 29 HP and lives.
destroyed.
So that's just a fail from SSG. And a good pulls from Kevster. There was nothing wrong from the strategy there. ENCE just executed it better.
Get out of there quite quickly. As Fanny Astro was on the case.
Still winnable.
Kevster does end up going down, but
It's a good kill. Kevster is a big kill.
Were distracted by Kevster, meant Hardy was alone on an island. And now
Spinach leaf, exclamation mark patch.
completed all the balls.
Not the pulse that you wanted. The angle's still there, though. Stay in the angle, sir. Stay in the angle. Stay in the angle.
Defense isn't dead though here for Space Station. Is
Do you think Sparker or Backbone is a better sim? Probably Backbone.
Sparker is a dead
but it's
eye too,
close.
so it might allow for
I
some
think Backbone
time
is the
for
planning
Space Station to
diff,
catch
which
their
I think is
breath.
really important for
But Monster has
Symmetra.
a Sound Barrier. Crimson once again with another window.
Rotating in through right. Again, there's the rotations that we want to see. You see the Orisa dives off of the back window?
Hardy's trying to block a lot of that damage off, just using his big burly body.
There's the beat. Can they close the distances? They can. But Hadi has ult to hold his space. He gets lamp. Huge lamp from Landon. Buys just enough time.
Using the spear spin to
Even just the time there to force the pincer.
nowhere.
Will they touch?
Kind of position
Oh
themselves
my
where they can
days.
help Hardy in that small
Mossy
choke.
needs to die. Or no, I guess Vestola needs to die. Vestola! Yes!
Hold on to this
Good
point.
stuff. Okay.
No point, no
Honestly,
point.
really fine execution from both teams. The speed rotations from ENCE have been good. They've been doing a good job, like not just running it down mid, but like trying to rotate through off angles and then catch the isolated targets. It just kind of come down to mechanics and communication mid-fight.
Get the
Both
payload
teams have been
in.
doing a fine job.
No way. I missed any sort of foul clock here, Jaws. They might not be able
Yeah.
to finish this map, especially with where that card is.
Yeah,
Space
that's
Station just
insane.
have this high
That
ground
at
control.
.01 is insane. I thought for sure that they had C9'd.
Here is
High noon for zoning. Again, that allows them to make that rotation to high ground for free.
They're gonna back off just a little
Then
bit.
they actually gives them the high ground because the Orisa goes all the way and takes the space. The key thing here is where's Sparker going to play? Because the High Noon is actually a really important ultimate on this portion of the map because of how much space there is. These ultimates in particular are really strong here. I don't think ENCE should win this. It's going to really come down to can Kev hit a pulse here? Because even with Javelin Spin and Fortify and Suzu and so on, you're just not going to be able to live on point here. So I think ENCE has to do something creative here. I think they probably have to put their Orisa on point, but I think something like a deep Tracer flank with Kiriko, something like that, I don't know that you win this any other way.
With the touch.
Like, something has to die. Look at the angle from Hadi. That's pretty funny. Will he get touched, though? Yes, he will. There's the back window. There's the beat. It's a little bit too much at once. Where's the High Noon from Sparker? I don't like this from Space Station. I think there's way too much panic here. I've seen this, this is now the second time where Astro is panic beat. It's happened on Busan as well, and it's almost cost them the map. Like, Hadi's fine. Hadi has block. Hadi has back window pocket. Hadi has a nemesis form. Hadi's freaking fine. And lamp. This beat is totally unnecessary. And what ends up happening is Astro goes in, and now he's way too close, gets sucked into a Orisa ultimate, and almost dies. And then does die immediately afterwards. This should be a very controlled, patient, mark the off angle, shoot cart, use window, use noon, use the pulse. And the High Noon obviously works as predicted. But the fact that this is even close is just because Astro just trolls. Yeah, they pull pulse combo. They pull pulse combo. But even then, you don't need to go in for beat. Astro doesn't need to be going in. Daniel, is Daniel here? Daniel, are you here? Stop trolling, Daniel. Somebody tell Daniel not to troll. Okay, he's not here. Daniel, Skype? Yeah. He needs to stop trolling. This is the second time he's panicked. Will I analyze Crazy Raccoon? Yes, that will be Thursday. He's not here? Son of a gun. Typical. The guy's probably sleeping it off.
Right there.
Wait, what just the frick just happened to my ears? Alright, we're gonna listen to this fighting and then we're gonna take like a 60-second break.
Space station, but let's hear what they've got to say about
It's me,
heading
Daniel.
into
Oh, hey,
this
Daniel.
next map.
Off that.
Hey, Reinforce.
Surely they wouldn't, right?
I would love that.
Alright.
Let's go,
Garrett-
guys.
Every
Is it Backbone or Hottie Sing fighting? It's gonna be one of them.
cooldown for the flip.
Camping
You
out.
con.
3, 2,
They don't know how to fucking do other shit.
1.
Fighting!
Fighting.
Dang.
It's Backbone. I knew it. That guy's so cringe. Okay. I'll be right back. Have I talked about the new patch notes? Exclamation mark patch, mate. We get some water. One sec. So, compared to Busan, that was a much more strategic map overall, which was nice. In terms of the strategy, there's still definitely some messy moments, but I think the level of play there was a little bit higher, especially towards the end, which was good. Do I hear him peeing? Shut up. But yeah, I think it was good. It was good. Relatively decent. I still think that the Brig stuff feels messy at points. And SSG obviously struggled a lot late third, trying to figure out the Widow rotation. Sparker, when he is angling, plays really well. And the ENCE Brig is like causing a lot of issues with like how they're trying to set up engages and so on. But yeah. You sound a bit dehydrated. Oh, thank you. All right, let's take a look here. So I'm gonna. This is weird, guys. This is weird. I'm gonna assume that this is because they know that ENCE is running this. Again, this is the thing. Vestola lives, shields off, provides defensive matrix and not defensive matrix, but provides damage mitigation for these guys to do their work. Shield, matrix, rock, whatever. You basically just this is an anti-ram. This is anti-ram. This is anti-Ramatra, first fight. Now, if this map didn't have glass, you probably wouldn't see this being played. But because there's glass, because this is the death tunnel, this is why this comp is being played. The same reason why we sometimes see NA teams run this Sigma in the mirror here on these first fights. Now, Space Station knows this. They're not idiots. Thus the Ashe, thus the Symmetra. Thus the Symmetra. Well, not the Symmetra. Symmetra's kind of weak to this too. But I want to see Flink Symmetra from Backbone, and I want to see Pokey from Sparker. We'll see what they do.
Go to far flip.
Yeah, far flip.
You guys see that? Far flip. So they're going to go here. They're going to drop. They're going to teleport up top and take it through here. They might not even teleport. They might just run underneath. We'll see where they go.
If it looks like they've got a fucking setup for it, by the way, care top right, just in case they're fucking gladiators.
Oh, they know they're flipping. They know they're
Looking.
flipping.
I hear Lucio.
Oh, they're going far right instead.
Yeah, here, Bash is here. Yeah, we need to fight,
You can't fight. You can't fight. You cannot fight. They needed to bail. They needed to bail. This.
Fight. Bop one, bash one, bop one, bash one, bop one, bash one.
Luan. Stick off. Luan. Got it.
Nice. Live more. You actually only one down. Can you live, Spark?
No.
The whole gang is on you, bro.
Okay,
Yeah.
couple supports.
The whole gang is on you, bro. I love how he's
They
called.
should get nothing from this, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the second that they meet them in the corner, you can't meet. Like that was so well played by ENCE. You literally cannot match that there. You saw it right there. You saw what Sparker could see. It's over.
Hey, by the way, so just get the aggression. They only have ID aggression.
What types of maps are Backbone being subbed into? The maps where Tracer's not as good. I think this is gonna be more Brawl Mirror stuff.
Hey, wow.
Cheers, Balto.
Had a game plan.
Wow.
They knew exactly what Space Station are doing there. Nice boot from Master as well. Just pretty much ending the fight, right? Just getting the BAP off the map. Easy does it.
That was
So
a
corridor
fastest
map.
kill I think
Let's
we've
see what
ever
Backbone
seen
can
on
do.
this
Yeah,
map.
actually, you're so right about that one. What the hell? It was like 10 seconds. It felt
More
like.
pokey, 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 pokey,
Yeah.
pokey, pokey,
Not
pokey.
bad, not bad.
The last moment.
But still fighting over the neutral.
Getting the stream streak and
Yeah.
leading. Giga Chad.
Not much to work with on either
They
side
don't know
either,
they're
but
on
you
May.
still
Otherwise,
get
it's
a
hard to
chance
call
set
Kai,
up
especially when
with
you
the
ram into
teleporter,
Sig.
so if
Yes,
it's one
but
of
they know that they're on May. No, they definitely know they're on May. The only reason that Sparker is on Ashe is because they know they're rolling out in this composition. Like, ENCE has done this multiple times. They did it once this series already, and they did it multiple times in the previous series as well. They know. That's why they're running the Ashe. So as soon as you turn the corner and they meet in the corner, that's why they did the far rotate, is to try to avoid meeting them toe-to-toe. But ENCE big brain that,
Well,
so
this
yeah.
corner might want to watch out for where Backbone puts down that TP.
Yeah, of course,
There's not
Kai,
going to be any
something
TP
we
plays,
noticed
almost certainly.
in their
Not right
series
now.
the other day. Kai
The
doesn't
threat
use
of
the
May
turret
Wall and
form
Bastion
really,
turret is way
just
too
waits
high.
for them to either go 3-2-1, try and
So
make
they're
a
going to
push,
3-2-1
or they
turret
wait for Space
form. They
Station
don't
to
get
go
what they
really
want, so now they got to be
aggressive
really
and
careful
once
because
the
Space
turret
Station can
falls,
rubber
they
band it right
respond
back.
with a ton of damage and then just pile as many resources as they can into Kai. It's very much like protect the president comp, like protect Kai, make sure he can survive and hit a good
There's the
shift.
push.
Oh,
So they're going to try and push. This looks like a
make sure he can
BAP
survive.
window push here. Yeah, this looks like a BAP window push that ENCE just out-tempos. Like, they were not ready for this. Land just immediately dies.
Oh, speaking of which, yeah,
Yeah.
there's Kai. There's an egg, and landed their body on the floor.
They get beat in
Annihilation
response.
coming
That's not a good
through
ult from
from
Hadi.
Kai just sits there.
Is Hadi gonna swap?
100% HP the entire time.
That's a good tempo push there from ENCE. That's really, really good.
He was right in their face. You saw the sound
How'd he go
barrier on
Sig?
top, and he was just never going to get killed there.
No, he stays Ram. Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
why did they
its
do
comp
that
is
to
just
Annihilation?
better in this
We
room,
saw him
so it's
pop
not the
out
end of the
and he
world
just
there,
instantly
but man, they
died.
definitely
That's
caught
because Kai was
Space
right in
Station
his
off guard
face,
there.
mowing him down with the Bastion turret form.
Okay,
So, they
space for
actually
Ashe,
started to get
space
some
for Symmetra. This is where
progress on
Space
this
Station
first
should
fight.
win this fight here.
Pistola, Kai, they've got the
The only risk is the
combo of
flux.
grab flex and the mortar strikes.
And they don't have window for it.
Pistola, he could just hold forward like this.
So you probably see a TP to point side. Yep, there it is.
There's the
Flux only hits Ram, perfect. They try to combo, doesn't matter. BAP window should happen now. There it is. There's the Blizzard. Simwall, maybe needed, or Bob. Simwall or Bob, Simwall or Bob, Simwall or Bob. Probably Simwall. Probably Simwall. Backbone, backbone, backbone. Earth the backbone, earth the backbone. Earth the backbone!
Unfortunately, Kai's got another nade for him. His name written on it.
So that was perfect, right? We called the layering perfectly. But then there just isn't a follow-up.
Teleporter coming
They did the teleport exactly as predicted, because you don't want to go directly into the Flux and Blizzard.
in. There it is. There's
Ram gets fluxed, perfect. Only Ram. They try to combo. They dodge the combo because Kai is totally incompetent with Bastion.
extra damage from
They Maywall, Blizzard, Ram. Ram's gonna die. That's okay. Ram's expendable. While they're dying, there's flank pressure, which trades the kill. Perfect.
many tools.
Even now, using Simwall to secure the fight win is not only normal, but expected. Sparker and Backbone both have positions where a Bob or a Simwall will win you this fight, and they didn't use it.
coming through from ENCE. Landon's got a decent little angle here on Vestola.
No, he doesn't lose ult charge because look at when he's doing
He's
it.
got another
15,
nade for him. His name written on it.
15. He loses minimal ult charge because the first time he did it, he had 0 ult charge. He had just used his Ramble, so he doesn't
Brandon
lose
was
the ult
just so
charge.
far
Not
away
relevant
from
ult
the rest
charge.
of the team, so
There's the
it's
Bob.
good to
Is it
capitalize.
enough?
Bob
It
coming
is.
out already, though.
Man, that was so late though.
Steps right
Ryan swap.
past the six shield. Well, here's Hardy. The classic swap. As soon as they see Vestola on the Sigma, they want to.
And remember, the Ryan is just to survive better versus the Bastion turret form and to have an actually relevant ultimate versus this stuff. Vestola goes back to Ram. A little bit better versus the Ryan.
We saw Sparker do this yesterday, though, on Esperanca when Zero plays, because even to shore
Okay.
up a person advantage that the team might be lacking, or even just to be able to play as a tank.
Simwall engage, pin, great Maywall peel. They force the lamp, they force the ice block, they force the BAP window, they force the turret form. Good Simwall. Now you chill. Ult for ult plus all the cooldowns. You're good. Now, next thing we should see is a beat engage will spawn with a beat engage, but Space Station should still win because they're going to be able to cleave onto the enemy backline with Rein. In theory, I like the Rein much better than the Ram in that situation. Plus, you'll have Shatter here. 3, 2, 1, Daniel. 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 Daniel! There it is. And there's the Shatter combo. Oh, Hadi didn't get beat! This is why we beat Engage. This is why we beat Engage, so that this doesn't happen. So this doesn't happen. You see the problem here? This is why you beat Engage. You beat Engage. Engage. Frick, man! At least they get the Sparker angle out of it. That's crucial. The May wall from Kev is really nice though to shut off that angle.
On the sidelines, that passive will kick in, so
and now they're just stealing Robot. This is not well played from Space Station, mate. Like, this is so sloppy. Uncharacteristically sloppy. Good decisive rotation there from Space Station. That was good. I did not watch this map. So, whatever, no spoilers, please.
Time to contest that, because ENCE just snuck it away. But right in the nick of time, but this is kind of where like ENCE start to
early back window now. Do it now. Do it now. I don't understand. Like, Landon, what are you doing? Like, here's the thing. Your job with this BAP window is not even necessarily to secure kills. It's just to clear this high ground, to create space, to force them into bad positions where you Ash can off angle from the left and kill them, and just to make that this guy can push cart safely. Use it now. You don't want to walk into melee range when they have Bastionolt, Ramult, Blizzard. I don't understand the plan here. So Rein pins in. We walk into melee range. Landon should be dead. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. This is so sloppy. There's no urgency even there to push because you also have somebody on cart. So you really don't want to take the hard fight when you have somebody on cart. It's a 4v5 or a 4v4. I don't know, guys. Like, I would love to like get an SSG player in here. Maybe I should grind them about it. I mean, it's too late now. I could message Backbone or whatever afterwards, but like, this is bad. This is really pretty bad. Even the main wall doesn't matter. You break the main wall instantly. Right? And remember, you know that the BAP window is just going to force Maywall. That's fine. But then you're going to be able to continue to use the BAP window. Take an off angle. Force the ram out. Force resources. Like, it's just a zoning ult. Like, this is the team that has used BAP window on that exact same position for zoning. We've done this before. We were the one that came up with that strategy. Oh, that's a great pen. Oh, but he gets killed by the Bastion on the rotation. It was a good pen. It was a good try.
It's going to be a rough retake here for Space Station.
Now they just need to disengage. They just need to fall off. Bob, I don't know where the Bob is. The Bob is good. The Bob is good. Astro needs to live. Astro does live. It's a fine ult. Okay, so this is basically what the Bob does. It causes chaos, which allows someone to maybe get a pick. Right? It also forces the Blizzard. They're all so low. But what kills Landon? Oh, Landon just wide peaks. Landon just wide peaks. This is kind of what SSG wants. They just need to actually secure the kills. Will they be able to secure the kills? Should be able to. Should be able to. Oh, no. Okay, they're good. They're good. Okay, for a second there I thought that was going to go poorly, but no, they're good.
Kind of messy. I think that's Hardy's third return into the fight.
He has air shot on Esperanca yesterday, but 3.5 minutes left, and ENCE has been able to a hero push on Esperanca
TP Shatter
yesterday, but 3.5 minutes left, and ENCE
it's not perfectly executed. And yeah, it's not perfectly done.
But 3.5 minutes left.
Somehow Crimzo doesn't get shattered as well. I would love to take a look at that in the replay viewer, but it's gone forever. But that's very surprising that it doesn't hit Crimzo there. Maybe he just whiffed. Yeah, I don't know.
ENCE has been able to decisively win all these.
And Landon dies again. Where is Landon? Landon is just... I'm not going to lie with you guys. Landon is just kind of trolling. Landon is just kind of trolling. A lot of these deaths from Landon have just really been undeserved. And then Backbone's too close. Backbone needed to use his teleporter.
Able to decisively win all these
He doesn't
fights.
have his teleporter because he's just used for TP Shatter, which means that he needs to take the teleporter to get back here. There's no way that Backbone should die to this when he has an active teleporter still available. So Backbone dies with active teleporter. He might have gotten booped away from it, but not well played from SSG again.
Better than to use his sound barrier here.
There's so many individual mistakes and team mistakes.
Space Station do play other squads.
Oh, Kev Wall's Hottie Shatter, but you can't really see it. Ah, okay, okay.
But ENCE scrimming Space Station, I can imagine, a fair bit, and Christopher kind of saying in the interview, tricky walls that Backbone is known to provide.
Yeah, ENCE is dunking on these guys
Also
right
just
now.
are not effective if you've got the amplification matrix to counter it. You're just
Beat
bursting
engage,
it down before you
suffer.
provide that value to your team.
The beat engage from Astro is, again, really bad, honestly.
effective if you've got
The whole point of your beat
amplification
engage here
matrix to counter it.
needs to be access for backline, but nobody's in position to actually reach backline. I mean, look at this backline here. Like, BAP, you got Bastion. These are pushable, but nobody's accessible beyond the ramp. And they don't. I don't even think they get May Wall or May Ice Block. I actually don't even think they get Ice Block out of that. Like, to use beat and not even force May Ice Block is criminal. And then the combo, and then that's it.
Just trapping Hardy in, and then Kai just lays
Yeah, it's just ENCE has an answer for everything, and every single engage from Space Station has flubbed. With almost without exception.
With 2 minutes to go.
Backbone goes May. Sim's not working.
All right.
And May can work.
If there is another player that could bring the May, it's definitely Backbone, another hero.
Sparker
that he's very
top
well known
right,
for.
probably, or top
Xerxes
left from
is
his
really
perspective.
low over on the side, but
BAP
Space
window
Station
here,
with
honestly,
four
should just
or
be
five
used just to
teamfights in a
take the
row
high ground here.
And they've all got to be very clean and very decisive.
Just use. Okay, yeah. There's the Ash positioning. Yeah, there it is. There's the Ash from the top
You do
left.
get a pick as on Marsa, as Crimzo deployed his on the corner here. Hardy's having the most ridiculous 1v1 versus Kevster and Logan.
Hardy on the back line. Pistol on the back line. Great dynamite. Crimzo should be dead. Crimzo is not dead. 1 HP, but it doesn't matter. Nice angle there from Sparker. And Cav also whiffs on the Blizzard.
On Esperanca, so it's not impossible for ultimates to work with.
I think the reason behind greeting the window there is that they didn't think that they had really any reason to do it, because I think that they were confident the Sparker's angle would be good. I probably still would have used window there just to be safe, but I think it was reasonable.
To play sneaky. He's got a
Flank
ball.
Bob.
He's going to try and go high
He
ground.
can really help to displace them.
I like this. I like this a lot. You don't really have a lot of good setups here for really anything. So I think going flank here, oh, it's perfect. Crimzo walks right into it. Perfect. And that's it. That should be fight win here.
ENCE have lost their main source of healing now as Vestolo just taking
Brilliant.
shots from the back. There's 2 kills
Brilliant.
for the Bob.
Brilliant,
That's
brilliant,
the start
brilliant.
you need for the comeback.
Parker, there's just so much point.
You know, I don't know who wins this map because I only know the final score. But this is actually really winnable for SSG. Because you have
Presence on the time.
BAP window here. And the reason why that's important is that's good enough to maybe get a pick and or get this from here to here. And this is kind of irrelevant because you can also match it. This is really winnable here. Like, you have an ult bank here and you only really need to win like 3 fights. Like 3 fights. Which is not unreasonable with the ult bank that you have.
You got the Ramatra, there's the Annihilation, the Blizzard.
I like the setup here. Just BAP window when they get close.
Great to be able to push ENCE back.
Yeah.
Forrest
Like
Moss
now,
has
probably?
used a sound barrier to not respond to any other of the DPS.
Now, the swap... Okay, so there's a couple swaps here, which I didn't really notice here. So first off, Kevster, Tracer. Tracer, good for pressuring BAP, good for pressuring Ashe. Maybe not the strongest map for it. The Sojourn is a little odd. I think it's just like Kevster just wants to get off of Bastion into the Ashe May. But what the Tracer can do is contest Lucio on cart. So what I would like to see is Backbone lean left and off angle from left side, or Sparker lean left and off angle from left side, and then have the BAP window with the BAP Ashe, then May supporting cart. If May supporting cart, May plus Astro will prevent Kevster from marking cart. So I think that I don't like either. Somebody needs to be helping Astro on point. Somebody needs to be helping Astro on point. I don't like this. Even without the pressure on point, there's too many people standing on this choke, and that Mei wall's like meaningless. Yeah, they need to stop the bot. There's 10 seconds left.
10 seconds.
All right, they got this. They bought the bot back. Who stole the bot?
Kev's just stolen it again. They need to hit the rotation, but are they going to be quick enough? Landon's Lamp's already down. The bot's point away from them. They're not going to be able to. Get it! Oh, this is huge! They're gonna get it to mid before someone can react.
10 seconds.
Okay, Space Station eventually get the bot back, but Kev's just stolen it again. They need to hit the rotation, but are they gonna be quick enough? Landon's Lamp's already down. The bot's point away from them. They're not gonna be able to get it!
I mean, that like if you're SSG, that is like the most mentally booming map I've ever seen in my life. That was rough. That was some of the worst play I think I've seen from the London crew in terms of like planning and coordinate. I told you guys, like 80% of the time this team will make the right plan. That was like they were like 0 for 12. That was awful. That was an awful map all the way through to the end. You got to have a short attention span, I think, for that one. Yeesh, dude. Yeah, that one Sparker Bob was like the only good play of the entire map. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard to know like exactly what went wrong there. Maybe it could have just snowballed from a couple of little things, but man, they just look so flustered that entire map. Every plan, every angle, every setup was just awful. Ouch. Okay, more water. I'll be back in a second. Yo, cheers, Ryoko. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying that was like war crimey to say the least. I mean, you gotta hope with SSG that you have a short-term memory off of that one. Bad map. Go next. And also, I think like you gotta credit ENCE as well. I think ENCE, a lot of their setups, I was really pleased with how Vistola played. A lot of those setups, a lot of the rotations, a lot of the ways that they were toying with Cart. They did a great job playing with Cart there. Some key walls from Kev. Some of the burst moments from even Kai there were good. I think you got to give credit where credit is due. Yeah, so yeah. Let's take a look here. More stuff of the same from Space Station. The counter, the ramp comp, and then we're going to play ramp anyway, but we're going to beefing up our weaknesses by playing the pokier Ashe. It's wild because both of these comps would lose to like Sojourn, Tracer, Orisa. Both of these comps. But if you did try to go that comp, Space Station would just put Sparker on Cassidy, and they're confident that this can beat your Orisa, Cassidy, Tracer. So it's like the counter to the counter. No. This is the counter to the Orisa stuff, they think. But then these guys counter that, and so then they go Ashe and trying to counter that. It gets messy. Is EU better than NA? No. Yes. I think so. Yes. But I think that, like, it's hard to say. I think ENCE and SSG and Toronto are kind of like the big three for me. And I think Toronto and SSG are a tier above ENCE by a teeny bit, depending on which version shows up. Because we've seen some ugly Space Station, we've seen some ugly Toronto. I think that like SSG to ENCE is what Toronto is to M80. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Maybe the gap's a little bit smaller with SSG and ENCE. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I think NA macro is so bad, but with the exception of maybe Toronto. But, you know, you have Happy and Pelican, so like you just never know what's going to happen.
So looking for big TP plays here. And Kevster,
yeah, the thing with ENCE is like Kevster isn't always playing Tracer, and Kai is overrated. Frankly, Kai is a great player, but Kai is overrated. Kai is not the most clever, creative, flexible player ever. So even when he's playing point-and-click characters, he is not, I would say, like a step above Sparker. I think Sparker is a more intelligent player. Kai just has better aim. So that means that a lot of the times where you're going to see Sparker find just as much success, if not more. I think this match is a great example of that. Vistola, I almost never have problems with Vistola. I think Vistola is probably their best player, second best player, along with Kevster. And everyone knows that ENCE's backline is just a big, not a big step down, but definitely a step down from SSG. So I don't think ENCE is underperforming by any means, especially considering these guys don't have the same level of time together. I think ENCE is performing pretty much par for the course. I think people look at like Crimso and they're like, oh, name value, but these guys are not at their peaks, and honestly, even at their peaks, their Space Station players are better, with the exception of Vistola and Kevster. I think Vistola and Kevster are ENCE's best players. And even then, I don't think the gap between Kevster and Psycho is that big. And I think Vistola and Hottie are pretty much toe for toe, just different hero strengths. So if you're like, ENCE has the worst backline, I think that they have a competitive hit scan depending on the situation. They have a competitive tank. So ENCE really only has like one player in a better position, whereas Space Station has two. So I think like even pound for pound, I think Space Station has the better players, and that's not even including the synergy stuff, which I think does matter with Space Station more so than it does with most teams. And same thing to say, which thing?
The TP2 with the wall, worth keeping in
May
mind.
had only one bad series his entire life. Yeah.
Can stop people going through TP, and you can isolate people like that. So
You think Claudio will ever get to play the game? No.
Not only that,
Why did
though,
Gunba
but
get
Kevster
chased?
also
Because
has
Winston?
Lock available, so it's not the easiest player to have to jump
that's
on.
rough. So gotta watch out for it.
Not only that, though.
Oh,
but
he
Kevster
got
also
egoed.
has
That's such a
Lock
crazy
available,
boop.
So it's not the easiest player to have to jump
That's
on.
rough. You look at the TP. Oh, there's a sim, and Master's job there is just stand next to
That
the teleport
sucks.
with a boom.
Just to lose fight to that. This is like Ash's best point, and they just lost to that. That like actually hurts so much.
Yeah, this is something that SSG struggled with yesterday. Typically, when we see
Oh
the
man, the
teleporters
kite
come
path
down,
is
they're really good at
bad
being
as
able to
well.
use
They're
them
gonna
to just
stagger
get
these
an
things out
aggressive
so
build onto
nastily.
The backline of whatever team it is that they're playing against. But ENCE, they're not the type.
Hottie
of
does
team
get the
to
trade
beat
in
lightly.
Masa, but it
They
doesn't really
have
matter
to
because it's
just
Lucio.
place out- That's going to be already built up before Space Station can come back in, and they're going to have an Ant Matrix.
Psychology's a powerful thing, Musket. Also, Rissa Nerfs.
And that grenade.
Claudia's a fine Rhine player. Like, let's be clear. Claudia is
My word, you know, that's heading straight
tier 1
for it.
Rhine
Or
player.
an icicle. Or rather, frosty death for Lan-
What is happening on my screen?
And that grenade. It's gonna
Did they
have
do
to
a
get
flip?
boots online.
Yeah, they do a flip. They wall the flip. Great wall from Kev. And Landon doesn't even get... Because, like, basically, here's the plan here. Is they want to teleport to here. They want to disengage, like, put Landon in a safe spot, and then have an off-angle with Ashe here. But Kev just is butchering. Like, they're butchering these teleporters. And this is where I think, like, Ryan is so useful. Because I don't know where Hottie... Okay, this is the problem. Hottie can't shield before they teleport. This is a mistake from Hottie. Hottie, whenever they teleport, they need shield here. Otherwise, this teleporter gets smoked. If that's because you can't just teleport Hottie and have him block. Because that's not enough. There's not enough pressure from this angle. There's too many eggs in one basket on the right side. You have to have like Bap and Ram and maybe Sam and then like Ash Lucio on the flank here, right? The problem is the Hottie doesn't have shield. So great wall from Kev, but also desperately needed Ram shield there from Hottie.
Well, the frosty death for Landon. Focus firing from ENCE is just sublime. They do end up losing.
Sparker still has the angle though, so they're still able to get trades, but I don't think it should be enough. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is such a tragic first round because SSG needs to win this point with the Ash comp. Because the rest of these points, not the rest of them, but a lot of these points don't feel quite as good. Particularly this side of the map is not quite as comfy. What's up, Vonxy? Doing well, thank you. Ult game is disastrous. Space Station has nothing but Bob essentially this fight, or Ramel, which are fine, but Ramel especially is not particularly useful. Bap window probably going to be used here. SSG does get set up early, and they actually have the time to set up their split, which is, you can't say that. SSG has had literally 0 fights up to this point, like 0 real fights. Now they actually have a setup here. Lucio, Ash angle, Ram shield is there. They're going to give up point, that's fine. Bap window for giving up point is fine. Don't get one shot by grenade. Okay, we're good. And then now we'll probably see an re-engage with a Bob flank here, and then maybe Ram on an angle. There's the Ram. They're checking flank. There's the Bap window, or the Bap window, I say. The May wall. And now we need to see Bob here from Sparker. We see Beat. We see Bob. We see Ram ult. The Blizzard is pretty fat. Yeah. Good trade. Good trades from SSG. Very messy ult fight, but that's totally fine. Very messy fight from everybody. Good stuff. Now you're very vulnerable to Flux here, so it's going to be all about placing your Ash Baptiste cleverly so that you don't get smoked. So we need Hottie to absorb the Flux, then we can Bap window Hottie to keep them alive. Or Symbol.
Somebody who also knows that away. So you got the Bob set up.
So how are ENCE going to rotate? Maybe they're going to try to close the distance a little bit with backline here. This was such a good finals. Yeah, I didn't see this map either, but from the couple maps I ended up,
which is not fun, but just back away, right?
Maywall is pretty good. Good catch there from... Ooh, Sparker gets caught. Sparker's dead. Very strange Bap window. I think Landon chokes it. Yeah, Landon chokes it. Well, maybe Landon doesn't choke it. Maybe this is intentional for the people on point can use it. But yeah, this is such a good Flux from Vistola. He catches Sparker just barely, instantly kills. And then also kills Astro, who... Does Astro get a Flux as well? He does. Oh, man. That is such a... That is actually highway robbery from Vistola. He just walks down main and fluxes 2 people. And kills both of them. That is actually insane.
That's straight on top of the back line now.
That's such a free fight win.
Doesn't get hit directly with one of those mortars, but has to try and awkwardly play around this window now as Vistola is off angling.
Just trying to mirror every time? Yeah. I think counter picking is a little bit underrated. I think it's overrated in ranked and it's underrated in pro play. I think the advantage that you can get by just doing something a little bit out of the ordinary, and I don't think people try it enough. Like, again, this is all started because Space Station was playing Ram, Symmetra, and Orisa comps. And so then ENCE says, oh yeah, well, screw you, we're going to counter that. And then Space Station said, oh yeah, screw you, well, we're going to counter that, right? It's not even tank, rock, paper, scissors. It's strategy, you know? This isn't just, oh, pick the tank to counter your tank, right? Otherwise, we'd be swapping off of Sigma. But then okay, well then, does Ramatra counter Sigma when the Sigma is also playing Bastion? And the answer is, not really, no. You know? And now we kind of have this non-mirror where there's levels of counterplay from both teams. It just comes down to execution. You know? I respect it. I respect it. I think when coaches and players start to realize that there's more than one solution to a problem, besides just mirroring, then I think that we're going to start seeing more of this. And I honestly want to give a lot of credit to both teams for like having the guts to do this, because it's just like, it's not even like fun. It's just good strategy. Like you're not going to have like Backbone is crazy at Sem. Sparker is really good at Ashe. I wouldn't necessarily say Kai is a great Bastion, but Cav is fine in Mei. Vestol is a disgusting Sigma. So what could we do to like put these characters on this? And like there's like levels of detail here and nuance, and like this is so much more interesting here. It's because it's coach led, Vongsi. It's coach led, and I don't know. I think Western players are slowly starting to develop a little bit of a swagger that started, I think, with a little bit of like what London was doing when it comes to that. It's a lot more fun to watch. Even the whole Cassidy thing, you know, like people said Cassidy was bad, you know, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh wait, maybe this guy isn't so bad, you know.
It's really nice just to have that big shield. You don't have to have any fear of being able to walk up to that point and contest it. The problem is that Crimso has kept this amplification
TP to top.
to respond to that. He's done
Probably just a sim wall here. Bap window will be in here soon, but that's a great isolation. And the sim wall basically denies the Bastion from punishing the Symmetra and the Ram. And so there's the sim wall broken, but wall has been used, shift has been used. That was pretty good. The only thing there is that obviously like we needed to kill the Sigma. We didn't kill the Sigma. And Masa also hits the boot. That's unfortunate. Those heals being flung towards him. It was a good play from both teams. As ENCE just has the better of the two. I told you guys, Ashe is not good on this map. Like, it is really, really easy to shut off Ashe sightlines on a lot of these points.
The Bob's going to come in, does knock up the Mei, but a small little boot from
okay, we'll take that, I guess. I respect the gumption there from Sparker. It's actually not a bad trade.
Here comes the Astro dead, Hardy hitting the reset, and ENCE, they're looking good. One more round and they'll see.
Meta develops because the teams have tried everything. That is like the biggest cap I've ever heard in my life. It's impossible. Like it's almost impossible to try everything. There have been very few times in the past, since Overwatch, in the last year, where people have tried everything. That is such cap.
Just such a big turnaround from what we saw yesterday.
That is the biggest cap.
Really cleaning up their counters to this space station comp. All
right, where are we playing? Okay, this point is pretty good for Ashe. There's a little bit more space.
And just have those answers.
Yeah, I saw Turtaka. It's insane.
Holding on to those ant matrices
yeah.
for these photon barriers has been huge to mitigate.
They meet them, they TP away. That's actually pretty clever from Space Station to give them time. Now watch what Space Station did here. Watch this. Calyx, thanks for the sub, man.
Have a nice
Watch this.
Man less than 3.
I appreciate the sub, mate. Watch this. They're gonna meet them here, right? Yo, look at these guys. They're meeting us in the choke. Watch this. Then teleport, blam, and now they actually get to go to point for free. If they had just gone to point, ENCE would have had a setup ready to beat them on point. But they bait them here, then TP to point. Now, ENCE would not have necessarily met them toe-to-toe because they do have the beat advantage, but it's a cute little way to get a little bit more space to set up your Ashe there.
But huge to mitigate the amount of advantage that can give over to Space Station. Even when they have this...
Well, the thing is like, I think that one thing the developers have done like relatively well, I disagree with Gunbo on this, is I think the developers have given options, right? Like, Sojourn isn't a must-pick right now. Cassidy is not a must-pick. Tracer is not a must-pick. Ashe has been situationally playable. Shogun Apple, thank you for the sub.
Thank you for everything you do.
I appreciate it. Tracer, whatever we already talked about. Bat, Curie, Lucio, a lot of the higher skill stuff. I think the only problem that we've seen is that some of the, so even the On and Brig on points, right? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of characters that you could toy with. Even Echo, we've seen, and KR, right? There's options here. Genji as well.
Symmetra TP to try to get to the point a little bit faster.
So if you're Space Station, you really don't want to beat here. I think you just try to BAP window, frankly. I would just BAP window whenever they commit.
Then, I don't know,
wait for it. Wait for it. Now. There it is. I think it's just a little close. Like, this is a consistent theme with Landon's windows recently. It's just too close. It's too close. With Mei, it's just too close. So what ends up happening, is the back window's too close.
Answers to everything right now.
He gets shot once, immediately disengages. And also Sparker, I really don't like Sparker shooting through the back window. Like, look at that. Instantly, just totally 2v1's backline, forces beat, and kills Landon anyway. Landon's been trolling this. Landon has not had a strong series. Landon has not had a good series.
Issue for him now as he rocks him out of it. That nade, I think that banked off one of the little columns.
No. I think the Soldier's only better than Ashe when you need to take flanks, like adjust your flanks. But I don't think you need to adjust your flanks here. I think you can kind of hold. More valid with Sim? No. No, you're not windowing for Sim at all.
They still got the mortar strike.
Yeah. And Funny Astro used the beast, the annihilation.
Backbone gives up, goes man.
They can live through. It's here to just.
Oh, Astro gets naded, then gets headshot.
And they kill Funny Astro. Percent ticks so quickly. That might be
like this is last
1.5 fights worth. Yeah.
They touch, they force turret, they use wall, but they don't get wall. That's the dangerous part. So here comes Maywall and Bap Window. There's Flux. Flux is not great, but they have so many ults that it doesn't even matter. I mean, this is it, guys. There's nothing to say. ENCE just looks lost, man. Or SSG just looks lost. Like, the old economy has been messy. There's been a lot of individual mistakes. ENCE is just outplaying them. Big Goose, thank you for the subs. Again, oh my gosh, thank you for the gifted subs. Yeah, I mean, SSG looks totally lost. ENCE is completely outplaying them in every single way. Completely outplaying them. And I will say as well, like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think ENCE's comp is, if not better, it's certainly easier. At least on the points that they were playing. Like, you're going to notice that, like, Sparker and Backbone have been really quiet the last 2 rounds. Like, with very few exceptions. Because the way that they're using this rotates, and the way that they're using Maywall, and the way Vistola's playing, is there just isn't any opportunity for them to do anything. Now, those guys probably certainly were not playing optimally here. But at least from what we're seeing here, it's giving me the impression that maybe ENCE's comp is better. And that the Ashe swap isn't enough to deal with the composition. The other thing that you probably noticed is that Hadi has been really quiet as well. Well, the problem is that Hadi can play to live with Ram into the bash and stuff, but he needs his DPS to take advantage of the attention that he's getting. And so far, that hasn't been happening. And I just don't know that if there is a solution to that. I think you might just have to swap. I agree. I don't think Ashe is a strong point in that map. I do think that Ashe would have been a solid pick for the first point, which is why I was putting so much emphasis on they need to win that first point, but they just crap the bed. They made stupid mistakes and then just lose first point instantly. And so the one point where maybe Ashe is a standout, there's another one, but one of the 2 points, they just lose, right? So they're clearly, the Symmetra has been doing jack all. The Ashe has not been playing as well either. I would argue that on Busan, it was more Sparker's fault. Now it feels more like Sparker's trying to take the angles. It's not working. Yeah, I would be surprised to see if this happens again with SSG. I would be surprised if we never see the Sim Ashe comp again versus what ENCE is playing. I don't know if we'll ever see the opportunity to do that. Maybe the meta's going to completely shift, but I think after this, the SSG will never play this again. I think it has not looked good. It's a good idea, it's a good strategy, but the maps that they were rolling out on it did not work.
Ready to kind of go back to spawn and swap, and Hadi on the Winston.
Dive time.
Well, as we were
Did they do comms here? Oh yeah, they do
ahead
comms.
of this 5th map.
Well, like once we get hard to fire
I think you guys can take top left.
Yeah, top left.
Okay.
No, I think we stack underneath. What do they do if we stack underneath? I feel like that's so good.
Yeah, but they can fucking rotate.
Both are fine.
Hey, Monkey's in the fucking spot on the top right.
Let's stack under. Let's stack under.
I'll go kill her.
Yeah, stack under and we can then swing from there together. Yeah, Monkey Bob.
Yeah, we swing wide angles. I'm going top left. I mean,
Stacking under is you're cooked. Stacking under is you're cooked. Typical NA brain, respectfully. Stacking under. Well, let's see what DPS they go first.
Kai taking a little quick peek there on the.
So
Oh.
the reason that you stack under is you play where the off angles can't bother you by playing underneath where the off angles go. The problem is that once you commit to under, you're stuck. and you can't get out. Even things like Flux, Rally, whatever, you're going to get traded pushing out. My opinion is that you should probably put Tracer on cart with some sort of high ground pocket, hold top left, push from main, rotate to left, take high. From there, you can actually pocket cart and clear the high ground, and you force the dive to do weird things. Yeah, I don't think that you can fully avoid the dive here. I don't think with this comp. This is a very Atlanta Reign strategy. The only reason that works is if you have this more brawl sustain pressure. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think this is going to work. I mean, maybe they'll hit something, but I would be surprised. Don't spoil. I would be surprised if this works. I mean, we know SSG wins this map, and it makes sense.
Marsa on Brig as well, so the dive here from Space Station is going to be quite tough, Rose.
This is a good setup to start.
It's so hard, because who do you dive? Kai is just so survivable.
But a Space Station, if they go underneath, literally gets every angle that they want. Literally every angle. So even if they're able to punish Hottie, which they should be able to punish Hottie a lot, the DPS will have so much space to do what they want.
Maybe you want to jump Crimso, but even still, like Crimso and Moss are going to stick to each other like
Good.
glue.
I mean, honestly, you could play main here for a while. Oh, and by the way, you don't even necessarily need to go here. You could sit main here, push cart to like here for free, and just like what you do is, okay, so here's what you do. You have your Brig like here, and then your BAP like here, your Sigma like here, Tracer here, and your Bastion just kind of hovering here. You honestly could also play this with Sojourn too, but yeah, I think Bastion's okay. And then what you do is you get the cart to like here-ish, and you have Superior Pocket. And then you could even find a way to rotate through right side. So for some CDs, look for the rotation through right side, clear them off the top with turret form and shield. And then what you do is you just then take the top. And then by that point, geez, guys. Sorry. You have the opportunity to be able to rotate safely because you will have 4 CDs, and then you could take the top, and then from here, you could then look to leverage cart from underneath, and you kind of force a dive. Now, they can stall cart from underneath, but it gives you space to punish mistakes.
Little 3-1 push there.
I don't like this rotation.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's a huge nade, though.
Oh, good nade from Kai.
Oh, my days. But you see what I'm saying? Like, look at this jump from Hottie. Hottie just zaps and forces lamp. He just zaps and forces lamp. Sparker probably shouldn't drop there. That was silly from SSG. They should not have dropped there. But look at Hottie's ult charge. So much cleave. Okay. So 2 big mistakes from the SSG DPS, but they really need to get Masa off of cart. Kev needs to be on cart. Oh, Masa, what are you doing? Masa. Masa, what are you doing, my friend? Get off the cart. You need to be here. You need to be here. Okay, guys. All right, buddy. All right. Am I gonna have to put stream in slow mode? Anyway. So anyway, long story short, they really need to put Masa here. Thank you, Gabe. They need to put Masa here. And then just, if you get pressured, you could always disengage out this way, but you can't put Masa on cart.
Yeah, but they're walking into a window.
Yeah, especially with Kai.
Like where's the body? Your Brig's on cart.
Doing a little bit of damage to Kai, but yeah, thinks better of it. Jumps down to low ground.
A little bit questionable from Landon there.
This movement looking too clean.
But there's just no space control whatsoever. The Winston jump gets way too much space because there's no Brig. There's no Brig. Where's the whip shot? Masa's on cart.
Doing a little bit of damage to Kai, but yeah, thinks better of it. Jumps down to low ground, but couldn't quite spot Kevster.
Now,
this movement looking too clean.
Yeah.
For the Tracer.
Still winnable though. Will Hottie primal? Yes, Hottie will primal. Will Masa live? All Masa needs to do is live. And I think they're okay. No, he bashes in. Masa.
They make their re-engagement quite successful. 5 meters to go.
right when the.
Are you seeing that,
You're
Gabe?
gonna see
Okay,
that
thank
point
you.
cap there from ENCE. Space station.
I'm telling you guys, you have to control space. You cannot cave to dive and hide. You cannot have 2 people on cart when you have a tracer.
Now get a chance to actually set up to be able to go for the dive defense.
Hmm.
Where do you go, or even just like Kevster going on a.
And see, the problem is now it's like you've blown your ult bank. You've blown your BAP window. You've blown your rally, which is like 90% of your value here. And now it's like now you're in trouble. Like now you have double support ult. You have Cassidy. You could have a Winston that's gonna build ultimate soon again. And so like they're gonna go top left now, and they will get Hottie. Hottie's disengager should have been to high ground. I don't know why he jumps here. That was a strange jump from Hottie. You need to be out there a little bit faster. But they still have space control. Like, they've still lost space. I also don't like Vistola dropping either. Guys, stop! Please!
But this payload is going to be hard to kind of assault now. Vistola is pretty low. Try and rip this.
It's not the play.
Just get dead.
That's not good. They're going to try and rip this.
Even versus the Kitsune. Like, you can very simply put your tracer on cart. Put your Bastion Brig here. Leave your BAP in the back corner window. And just, again, leverage cart. You don't have to peek this Kitsune Cassidy. And when you do, you can poke him out pretty easily. They just lose the Winston and immediately go, oh, well, I guess we give up the high ground.
Hottie's dead.
And now look now Kai kind of has to drop because there's no control of high ground here. They're voluntarily giving up the map over and over and over again, man. The EU in a hive mind is kicking in, man. And so this feels very stallable. Maybe, yeah, and there it is. Gosh, man, it's so bad. There's the beat. And they just perma half high ground. Perma.
But it's a swing and a miss. Hits the little bit of rock there.
Compositions dive. And
there's the Orisa. So yeah, Diva's okay here, but the problem would be like
really competitive.
Diva's not the most competitive hero in terms of strengths, and this map is a little bit open for Diva. There's the Bastion. Hottie gets out. Yes. Baits the turret form. They're back on cart again, which makes a little bit more sense with the Orisa, but still, I don't like 2 people on cart here. What's up, Coco? They have BAP window. I don't like this here. So let me explain to you what this setup should look like, okay? Let me explain this setup really simply. BAP probably stays here. Brig probably stays here. So you got little B and big B, okay, to deal with the Winston jump, okay? You put your Bastion here, maybe even your Bastion all stacked with 3 here. But this is too naked. And then what you do is you force cart. You can honestly actually have your Orisa here. I think this would be the best bet. So B, 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 B. Tracer here. Pocket cart, Orisa here. Orisa off angles and spams. Okay? You could pocket your Orisa, you could pocket point. They dive here. Your Tracer deals with cart. You BAP window. The second anything gets crazy. Alright? Then your Orisa is able to continue. Like, see this hiding here? This doesn't hide if the Orisa is here. Okay? You got me? Pocket here. Poke here. Poke here. Tracer cart. And then you BAP window. Bastional, whatever you're cooking. I really don't understand why Vistola keeps going cart. And also, there's no way for them to live the dive there. It's just so naked. Yeah, I mean, this is just a joke. Well, SSG... Oh, listening? SSG had their map, and now ENCE has theirs.
Ahead of this next round.
Attack, I really don't.
Okay,
Tom. Go Genji or Ashe or Sojourn. Any of those that you can just like any of those 3. That...
Genji or Ashe is my vote. I don't think Sojourn would be good. You have static long sightlines. ENCE will probably run something similar. Ashe should be free. Ashe should be free. Genji should be free as well. Genji's really good versus what ENCE was running because you can close the distance really easily in those guys and really ruin their day. But I don't think Sparker or Genji very good. But Ashe would be good. Not Sojourn. Ashe would be good.
What are you feeling, bro? What are you feeling?
I mean, just fuck it, guys. Genji.
Yeah, fuck it. If we go out playing Spenji, we can fucking go out playing Spenji.
Yes, London.
Fuck it, dude.
Let's get it, boys. That's all we need. Get it.
Still take space slowly.
Yeah, just take it slowly. Shoot Tracer. If they don't have a Tracer, just fucking move point, okay? For a long
if
time,
they have sync-
till they make a move and we kill them, okay?
Even if they have trade, we can shoot point till
Yes.
He can die. Some triple dink shuriken or something.
Fuck him up.
Nice, bro. Let's fucking go, boys.
Pretty positive sounding words there. Things are.
Yeah, I mean, we hate his choice in Genji skin, frankly, but I mean, it works. Yeah, I mean, you can force cart with the Tracer, with the Kiri, Lucio, whatever. Hottie just needs to be super disciplined, like basically what Hottie said. Like, this is the difference in this map, and we know that SSG wins this, obviously, is Hottie's plan strategy is good. ENCE's plan from the comms was bad, and that's it. Force point with your higher mobility, right? Not playing an open, like, long sightlines where you're going to get poked out. Force point, pull them the cart, then immediately dive at anything that overextends. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good plan. The Genji's really good at that. Genji can push cart, like Tracer. Genji can dive high ground. It's good. I don't have a lot of faith at the Sparker Genji, but the strategy is there.
That's why we let them.
Exactly. We can get away with it if they do it. It's all good. Still, they obviously
Sparker
feeling pretty good coming out the gates. Yeah, they're like, Sparker!
So yeah, ENCE needs to try and find a way. Man, I don't know. This is why the weakness of the Bastion is such a problem. Because, like, 3, 2, 1 deny the Winston, but you really don't have anything to deny the cart push. I mean, the only thing I can maybe say is that, like, you really have your supports peeking over the edge aggressively to try and either mark the Genji or pocket the Tracer, but it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, PJ must be fuming.
Look at how many meters we need to get. And a blade, Rose. I mean, that forces out support always pretty readily. That rally.
So force cart. It can be very difficult to force cart here, but as soon as it gets to here, it's very easy because you can force cart from underneath the building.
If the dive is good enough, because that
Psycho needs help from somebody. Yeah, there it is, from Landon. That's good.
Well, especially if you miss the shield bash 2 or something. Very small window to make sure.
And by the way, you can stall point from this corner here, so they really need, like, break shield. There's the boop there from Astro. They get a little bit more push. A little bit more push. Good. Now shoot. Look at that. Off angle threat, distracts, buys more cart push. Do it again, Sparker. Do it again, Sparker. Good. Now do it again.
Annoying, harassing the sidelines, going to force ENCE to look a couple of different ways.
Good. Do it. Do it again. Oh, this is a deep angle here. There's the Winston jump. There's the soft dive. This looks pretty good as long as Sparker can dash out.
Oh, nice rock onto Sparker. Perfectly timed Crimso.
It's a good idea. I just need to get out of there sooner. Because, like, Hottie's not really hard committing here. He's just distracting for the more cart push. He just needed to get out sooner. He tried to, but yeah. That's a great rock from Vestola.
Picks up that kill. Nice stuff from Vestola to start us off.
They need to disengage. Can they disengage?
The tank away as well. He's going to make sure the payload gets a few extra meters. The Lamper and Insurance policy as Hardy ends up failing that jump. Hardy takes
Masa! How are you dead? Please! That's actually a big deal. He's slow, man. He's slow. They're gonna be able to be back. He's not even back yet.
That rally's gonna be offline, and you don't have a sound barrier to be able
to deal with that. It's not that big of a deal, but they are gonna be able to get a little extra cart push here.
Amplification matrices and get set back up on this high ground.
False one from Psycho. Pressures the point. Crimso with the window, ready and waiting to use it. Look how far he's playing back. He knows Space Station have got ults to use.
Yeah, they're anticipating the push here.
You can see him creeping.
Keep pushing cart, y'all. I actually think if I'm SSG here, I think if your support's here, I know they're leaning for, like, the back dive, but as soon as I see this setup here, I think the smart play for SSG is to shoot cart more. Maybe threaten it with Winston, but put Lucio and Tracer, like, really aggressively, because you could boop Kevster back and force recall, then they're going to have to start to put resources here, and then you go for your dive, you know? Like, because Card is, like, actually so free right now with his setup. Like, there's, like, zero punishing Card. Maybe a little bit too, like, they're probably going to... What are they going to do? What were they going to do? Probably beat engage here. I think if you're playing for one fight here and they don't have rally, because Masa was dead, I think you beat engage. I think you either kill one of the supports or Bastion. Probably Bastion. Probably Bastion. Although, Bastion might be tricky because of the reinforcement. Oh, the pulse form is big. Oh, dude, they're all so low. Where is everybody? Where's the follow-up? Okay, that's actually tragic. Where's the follow-up? That they needed to die. They needed to die. Astro dies. Sparker also doesn't blade. Oh, he doesn't have it yet. Kitsune rushes late as well. Primal? White man's primal? Hottie just became just a little bit less white there. Nice juggle. Flux and rally use. That's a huge win. Huge win there for SSG. Because now this fight can be lost. And you... Oh, that's an early Flux. That's a really early Suzu from Landon. Was he low? I think you just have to hope that he misses those shots. Because I think he dies there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's good for him to escape. He's half HP.
I mean, rally being forced there is huge. Okay, they over... Well, he's just gonna blade? Okay. He needs to deflect there. Oh my gosh, what a shot.
Here comes the blade, though. A super late one for a spot.
Blade, tempo blade there is good. Look at his HP. Bam! Oh, he almost gets him too. Did they get him? Yeah, the blade's not bad. Blade's not bad. He does the job. That might be it, guys. They need to shoot Cav. They need to shoot Cav. Shoot the Tracer. Get out of the choke. Go, 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 go. Masa bashes into the wall. Masa dies. Typical. Gosh, dude, there's so many. Bash it, 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 bash it. Suzu's early. Bash it dies. That's it, guys. Yeah, SSG played it pretty well. They played it pretty well. They played it pretty well. Good patience, good cart focus. I think they could have gotten more cart focus in general. I think the timing of that beat push was tragic. They needed more punish than that. They had the punish, but they didn't quite have the damage. The blade was late. The Kitsune was late. And also, funny, Aster should not have been the first one to die there. But I think that people might have just missed shots, honestly. But yeah, that was good. I'm sorry. Can we just enjoy Jaw's hands? Watch Jaw's hands. Ready? I'm sorry, can we just... This is great. Watch this. Watch this. Check this out. Dun, 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 dun. He's feeling kind of... Dude, this guy's feeling... He's feeling good with it. You know what I'm saying? Look at Jaws. Look at him go. Look at him go. Look at him go. Jaws is... Look at this. Why is this so funny? Oh, that was great. That was super funny.
Wow. Like, I think...
All right. Well, there you go.
That you can play the dive.
I mean, the brig is really good at pocketing the Tracer, and I think brig was fine there. You know, you're holding a spot, you're denying off angles, you're denying dive. The brig wasn't the problem. Masa just didn't play very well in the brig. That's all. That's all. Masa's brig just... And it's not just Masa's fault either. I think, like, overall, it's like there's, like, some beef stuff from there as well. The way you were? That's funny. Wait, really? Where did it? Oh, let's listen.
Moving brick, cat and bash next turret, guys. Play it slow. We win. Stay above.
Shoot point.
Yeah, pulls in a second.
Bash one.
Bash one.
No pulls.
Do one.
Okay.
Play one bar. Do one.
Nice, good job.
Spengy! Good fucking guys.
Yeah, the Sparkle Genji, Freudian slip. The Sparker Genji was he had the right idea. You know, what he was doing was the correct thing. It just wasn't always done super well. You know what I'm saying?
How many May walls can we fit in this choke point? One. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is back to the usual here because whatever the frick was going on earlier with the space station, Big Brain himself wasn't working. Yeah, I think this is a skill matchup. I think the Bastion stuff is a big deal because it is going to be tough for the Ramatra, but obviously it's just going to mean that Cassie and Tracer are really free. I think I like Space Station games comp more. I think the difference between this and like the previous stuff, the Ash Sim, is I think with Cass and Tracer, I actually think that if Hottie is going to get focused down and burned, I actually think that there's like actual punishment here. Because I think the Cassidy value is a lot more consistent than the Ash value, at least on this map, right? There's like, he doesn't have rely on these like super long sight lanes. And also Tracer's just an additional angle that's just going to avoid the Mei wall entirely. Nice, dude. Nice, Soren. Congrats, dude.
One. Okay. Two. Here's one. Here's one more.
I actually don't like ENCE's comp all that much.
Especially for Hardy.
But I guess like if you're ENCE, maybe like you don't win the mirror here. So there's the kite, there's the Lucio angle, there's the Tracer angle, almost kills Masa. There's the lamp, angle maxing, angle maxing, angle maxing, angle maxing, rotates out to the other angle.
Sparker's still on that angle though. Look at how high up Crimso is. I has to drop down a little bit, knowing that
they're going to be able to get point first, which is good. There's the block, there's the block. Tracer on the flank. Kev's just trying to mark. You notice that Kev walls hot ram, and it just pretty much just looks at the Tracer.
Still dicing with Kevster by the looks of it. Here comes another wall.
I think Sparker's having a hard time finding space here. There's the space for Sparker. There it is. There it is. That's what we needed.
Two baps going down. Same with Kai. A good pulse bomb from Psycho.
Nice Hender there. Nice kill from Psycho. Oh, Kevster?
Nice headshot through the window. It's a very scrappy fight.
This is probably ENCE's best map for their comp. ENCE's best map for their comp. Because there's going to be fewer angles for Cassie and Tracer to play.
Probably going to lamp him too if they really need it, but they might not even. Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, lamp comes in. They can't even cut the point.
There's Bastion turret. There's wall.
Wow, even the wall
Hottie's free. Hottie could even use ult here if he sees an opportunity. He might not even need to. Zoning. And there you go. Pretty good from ENCE, all things considered. Again, like, this is probably going to be your best map for your comp. There's fewer options here.
A blizzard? Think again.
Sparker on the angle. You got to be creative here.
That's a funny Astros score.
Ah! Nice play. Plus for the beat engage. Maybe a little bit of an overinvestment there.
Use that sound barrier.
Because when you have that deep of a flank, you really don't need a lot of ults. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. So I would prefer probably just the window or the beat. Probably not both. What's up, Epic? Good to see you, mate.
Yeah.
And so now Sensation probably has to play.
It doesn't feel good either, though.
I mean, Psycho has to hold an angle for Pulse, but I don't. You have to kind of keep your distance here.
But the fact that Funny Astro used the sound barrier in that last engagement means that they don't have that now. They just have to use the immortality field and just raw healing.
So they're playing bait. They're playing bait. Where's Psycho? There's Psycho. Big pulse bomb. Big pulse bomb. Big combo with Hottie there. Where does Kev see here? What does Kev see? Maybe? It's kind of just a zoning blizzard, which isn't too bad, but yeah. I think they're expecting Hottie to go backwards because they had beat. But the pulse push combo just instantly kills. And then also, Kai doesn't get beat. Ouch. Really nice angle, Max. I'm telling you guys, the angles here from Psycho and such, really popping off. That one hurts for ENCE, man. Okay, there's the Cassie swap. There's the Tracer swap. They give up. Yeah, this is the old patch. This was Sunday.
Looking at Kai's Cassidy, and you can also just maybe play with this Annihilation a little bit better, being a little bit more survivable next to like Crimso and Masa. But it's starting to run away from them. 90% here for Space Station as they could close it out here with a Deadeye from Sparker.
He's been so good with them so far.
Can we just take a moment to be pessimistic? Let's take a moment to be pessimistic for just a negative for just a second, because we've been so positive this entire stream. Can we just admire Hinder? The ability that simultaneously ruins the lives of thousands of players, Balls and Doomfists and Bronze Tracer players and Plat Genji players and every venture under the sun. It just ruins them. And yet, in higher level play, and honestly even lower level play versus certain compositions, is literally ornamental. Such so that professional players use the ability like this. That is a real use of Hinder. And that's not even the exception. That's the norm of how this ability is used at this level. What a beautifully designed ability. Look at that. It's so impactful that it makes people want to not play Overwatch anymore. And so unimpactful that people use it like this. You have to be kidding me, man. You have to be kidding me. No nuance, no dynamics, no offensive versus defensive. You just throw it at whatever sneezes near you and just pray that it hits. Actually, disaster, man. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster of ability. What an absolute disaster of an ability.
Out here with a Deadeye from Sparker.
Been so good with him so far.
Look at that. Look at that. Look how impactful that ability was.
Normal kills, vanilla kills. All right, there's the Vortex in the back line. Forces the Lamb, Crimzo. Vanilla kills. All right, there's the Vortex in the back line.
Ooh, the Vortex catch from Vestola there. Check this out, y'all. Vortex, bam. That's such a cute little push there from Vestola. I think Vestola's had a pretty good game. I'm not going to lie with you guys. Good refresh of the armor. Angle maxes. I think Vestola's played well. I think Vestola's probably played the best out of all of ENCE here.
On Crimzo and Kai is quite frustrating. Space Station Gaming with Lucio spawning, or one of the first ones to spawn. Space Station are going to be able to regroup pretty quickly.
Nice, Epic.
Only now coming up, but Hardy kind of
back into the Puzzos, but Kai's the one with the Deadeye that's going to be able to play on that angle with Crimzo's amp. But Kai.
Flashbang would unironically be better than Hinder because Flashbang you could actually do offensive things with it. I didn't like Flash either, but it actually you could be used proactively. Hinder cannot almost at all be used proactively. It doesn't do enough. You can't make plays with it. It's only almost exclusively used to deny the enemy team from taking action on you. Which Flash could do that as well, but it was harder to. And that's it.
I think it's important that Landon has this amplification matrix to match that of Crimson.
I don't want Flashback either, but yeah.
He's the one with the Deadeye.
There's a rotation. Bap window on high. Oh, they caught an isolate. They caught an isolation. They caught an isolation. Oh, Landon is honestly Landon's kind of had a rough match. I think part of it is just due to like what SSG is trying to do, but I don't know. Some of this stuff from Landon is kind of messy. The lamp, he doesn't even get lamp out there. He doesn't even get lamp out there.
There's the window, and whatever direction you choose to come from, Sparker, it always manages to come up with kills. Vestola does end up killing 2 in the front line. I mean, Sparker's still here. They're going to
Masa! Why are you peeking that? Masa! Masa!
But not before he kills Masa as well. There's 2 people left. Overtime, little boot in if they can get the touch. Looks like they're going to be able to with Funny Astro. A nice little boot. And
such a good Suzu. Like, honestly, such a good Suzu. Psycho just destroys Kevster, who doesn't have recall. Even Vestola's little juggling there is super cute. Nice pulls from Psycho. Crazy clutch there. Landon makes up for it with that Suzu right there, I'm not gonna lie.
But it's looking rather unlikely he can do so. At least not without paying for it with his life.
Yeah, that's actually insane. That's actually such an insane sequence. Like, that Suzu that allows Astro to touch and then get the beat off safely is actually absurd. He throws it. I saw the OBS Sojourn tweet about this one. He throws it from like here, the Suzu, from like here while Astro's here. He just like yeets it across the map and it hits at the perfect time. That's insane. Yeah, like I said, a bit of messy old economy from Space Station. Astro needs to be investigated for some of these beats. But long story short is I think that like this is ENCE's best map for their comp, and they didn't get it. So now we're gonna have like probably something resembling Mir, and I'm gonna assume that Space Station is just gonna be better than Mir.
On the cast. Mirror compositions pretty much apart from Hardy.
Psycho did fine last year, bro. I don't know what everyone's freaking out over Psycho. I think Psycho was clearly New York Excelsior's best player. And the best part about New York Excelsior is that it was such a team diff that one of the considered better tank players, who was Kellen, I think, was somebody that people thought was trash too. And I think Kellen is generally considered to be like above, like a fairly good tank player, but just New York Excelsior. Psycho was fine. Who else was on New York Excelsior last year? What was their roster? What was their roster? I'll just look at like qualifiers or whatever. Fitz had a terrible season. Shockwave's overrated. OG's not good. Anion's not that good. I mean, Anion is fine. She's fine, but like for the level of competition. Creative, I don't think had a particularly great season either. I think Psycho and Kellen were like probably two of their better players. Kellen, Psycho, and Fitz were fine. Maybe the team didn't have the synergy. I don't know, but like individually, they had some decent players. Yeah, so I don't know. This is that Suzu. Yeah, I like this tweet. Let's check it out.
Like a gentle rain.
Yeah, I mean he dies there if he doesn't do it.
And Festola doing the Orisa Ram head-to-head.
I don't think Lethal was good though. Like I think Lethal was just. I think London definitely had some of the same struggles with like confidence and execution the first half of the season for sure. And Lethal, I think, is a good player. Lethal is somebody that I've worked with for a long time back in the day, and I really like Lethal a lot as a player and as a person. But at that point in time, he objectively was not playing well. So I think I disagree. I think Psycho played okay, but I think Lethal really did have a bad season. Well, I've talked with Chris about that, and he said that Lethal apparently was doing really well in trials and scrimmages on Tracer, and at least initially on, and then just didn't put it out in the matches, and then also didn't progress as well. But yeah, clearly once Sauna came in, but at that point, I think the damage had been done. I think London's issues, like the last stage, stage 1, is like they didn't have a great Sombra player. They definitely did not have a great Tracer player. Hottie and Winston is like average. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is. His communication is good. Admiral, same thing, is fine on Brig. Land is fine on Ana. And I think the worst part is that they never really got better. You know, like they didn't really have the confidence, and they just didn't get better over the course of the season. They just totally plateaued. I think a lot of people put a lot of blame on like Hottie and Lethal, and I think Lethal definitely did not play as well as he could have. But if you guys watched backlines, like Landon just didn't land sleep darts, man. Landon just did not land nades. Admiral hit whip shots on occasion, but the backline was very weak, which is funny because like not hitting the whip shot is not just about you not dying. You actually won't even not necessarily die if you miss the whip shot. You'll still live, but you'll be zoned out and pressured for too long, which really hurts your front line. And so like watching London's backline in the dive was tragic last year. Really tragic. I just don't think that they progressed, which is a shame because I feel like we made a lot of progress in 2022 with our dive execution. Ana, Brig, whatever. I just feel like they just reverted, which to me tells that there was probably some like lack of confidence or whatever. Something along those lines. But yeah, they just didn't have it. They just didn't have it.
Oh, Masa on the Brig.
Well, Masa's on the Brig
not quite
too.
mirror comps there.
Yeah,
Not
so
near
you just
enough
get to
angles.
Play with the Orisa a little bit closer. The
Okay,
Inspired
speaking of
duel
angles,
could
let's
be
see how this
really
goes.
big in order to just make these duels a little bit better for your own team.
What's up, Mapley?
But I think that the fact that Funny Astro's on Lucio, the sound barrier just feels like a better supportive ultimate to have when you.
There's the
look at
cast
Ram versus
flank.
The
And again, I just don't understand the Brig stuff. I just don't understand the Brig stuff. Like even in a more open map like this, like if you're gonna play the Brig,
you're gonna put
the Brig with the cast on the angle here, pack him, bait the Ram to chase, bash away, and so on, right? And then obviously if anybody tries to mark you on the angle, you can hold that space. I don't understand why Moss is playing butt buddy to the Orisa. Literally just riding on the Orisa's butt the entire time. Or sitting on the Baptiste, who is in zero threat at all because the Cassidy and the Tracer and the Orisa are the one taking the risks. I just think Moss's break is just tragic. Actually tragic. What do you mean pause? Cheers, Palito.
The sound barrier in these matchups.
So I like the angle here. But the difference is that now, like, there's the support. But where was that support 10 seconds ago?
Not doing anything too crazy right now, just checking.
And why is the Baptiste going to rotate to here? Why is it not Bap and Orisa here, and then Cass here, and then Tracer here? You notice a difference in the way that it's like, look at the angles here, and here, and here, right? It's just so much better set up from Space Station. And I think one of the things that, oh, that's unfortunate. That's a nice clip from Kevster. One of the differences between Ram and Orisa is Orisa can move around a little bit more, maybe. But I think Ram can sustain, absorb pressure for longer.
Although Psycho going down to a headshot of Kai isn't good.
Still a point capture for Space Station. Sparker is a Deadeye almost too. He's so
double heady.
Please heal him.
Kai doesn't want to mess with that. Doesn't want to mess with that either.
Great ability.
As soon as he peeks, Sparker clicks
Ram
his
lives,
head.
Ram lives, Ram lives. I would still, again, want to emphasize that Masa should be here and not here. Whipping here, then holding shield and packing Kevster is the way to go. Not standing in front of Ramatra, because let's find out what forces Crimso to lamp. It's Masa. It's Masa. Masa is forcing Crimso to lamp. Why? Because he's standing in front of a Ramatra. Yes, I do, Brady.
High noon available. Yes, you are right. Good stick. Oh, the
Good pulse.
Even like a full clip from the
They have the absorb. Vestola gets run over.
falls down yet again first.
What happens to Vestola here?
Yes, you are right. As soon as he peeks, Sparker clicks his head. Psycho pretty low.
You know, it's funny because what Vestola is doing is not even bad. Vestola, the problem with Vestola is he's playing like he has a functioning backline. This here is great. He has Javelin Spin. He has Javelin. He also has Fortify. If his Lucio is able to actually trade and move in, then this is a traded backline right here. This is a killed backline. Now, did Vestola mess up something mechanically? Maybe?
Oh, yes, you are right. Good.
But like that's good. The problem is Masa is purely ornamental.
From the Tracer couldn't take down the Cassidy, and the Vestola falls down yet again first.
And so all the space that Masa's creating, this is like Masa's like the silver support player that you have that just lives in the backline. And I want to be very clear, guys. I know I'm being tough on Masa, and I think Masa has made mistakes, but I think it's the hero pick is just doing him no favors. His hero pick is doing him no favors.
Remember, they still control the point here. This is time
right? Masa is or was, and I'm sure Masa makes a lot of great calls, and he's a good man support. Is he the best? Is he the weak point? Maybe, but he's fine. But this is just a huge problem. This is a huge problem.
Pretty quickly.
Because like your advantage there is your ability to hold off angles and to sustain a red box for your DPS, and Masa's just not doing it, man. He's just not doing it, and then he's getting his own BAP's lamp force because he's mispositioned. A lamp that would have been really nice for Vestola, and then Vestola goes in like, hey, we have an opportunity to actually pressure backline to push, but no, we're playing brick. All of ENCE looks totally lost when they're playing this brick stuff. High noon for zoning.
Forcing back the members of Space Station up onto that high ground, but Hardy is going to pop Nemesis form in order to stay.
Ornamental, nice grenade out. BAP window being used. I want to see some off angles. We're getting some off angles here. Pulse is a little early. Oh, maybe not. I actually might have called it right there. There's just so little proactivity from ENCE. So little proactivity here. So little. Kai is on the flank here. But I don't know where. There's just no support from. I really think it comes down to the brig. It really comes down. Like, I actually see the DPS on angles, but there's just nothing there.
Use the sound barrier, unable to get the annihilation off, but it might not matter. Masters the target for Space Station as Landon also falls to Kevster over time in a couple of percentage points, but it's all
so winnable.
Eventually, the
they did blow their whole old economy here, so this is winnable here. Hadi dies there. I think that was the mistake. I don't know if Hadi had his. Hadi might have gotten bashed out of his Nemesis form. Yeah, he just got murked. Okay. What is the beat from Astra as well? Let's check this beat. Ah! Daniel! You fraud!
Here comes through from Vestola. Hits the Terror Surge just to stay alive.
This beat is totally unnecessary. You do not beat engage into an active rally when everyone's basically full. You wait, you shoot, Hadi gets low, you beat then, or you wait for the rally to get close expiring, then beat engage then. Hadi, like, Astra's been doing like these tempo beats or stacked beats, and they've been really bad. Bad reads. And a lot of them are when Hadi is like half HP. It's not good. This is just beat on main support day, I think. You know what? They deserve it. Imagine picking main support. Main support.
For a full 5v5. Vesola, I'm sure, is going to be able to help dislodge a couple of these members.
Testosterone check.
That has the agency, the annihilation in his pocket.
Listen, we don't do anything but toxic masculinity here, okay? There's a very specific set of guidelines for you to be a part of this Overwatch community. This is kind of a weird play here. I feel like this would be like fine here, but then again, I'd like to see some more of a threat here. But yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, actually, you could honestly just hold here in high noon to zone point, but yeah. Every day is beat on main support day. That's good. That's good. Yes, 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 yes. Ah! I mean, it's set up by Hottie's push there, but yeah. Yeah, nice job. Okay, is this it, guys? Guys, how are we already on last map? Oh, wait a second. It's almost 7. Holy cow. I like open my mouth and then I check and I'm like, oh, it's late. Okay. Now, Sparker is about to dial it up. And so much so that we might do a Sparker POV analysis at some point in the future. I'm not sure if I'll do it on stream or not. Yeah, so, yeah, it's been good. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I guess so. Or yelling into a microphone. You know, I'm disappointed. This mic doesn't peak enough, which is really sad. We need the peaking, so it is what it is. I'm gonna stretch my legs for like 30 seconds, and we'll get to this last map here. Spoilers. I did watch this one. It is a pretty good. It is a pretty good one. It's a banger. There's some nice angle maxing here. And spoilers, we have more Brigitte trolling as well from Masa. And we're gonna talk more about like what Brig can and needs to be doing in this composition, because it's actually not totally trash on this map, because there is so much more space, but the way it is played is totally trash. So Chase was swapped in. Gumba essentially said Vistola was tilted. Really? Bro, I would be tilted too. I'm not going to lie with you guys. I feel like Vistola has been playing relatively well. There just has not been the same level of support, whether indirectly or directly too. They played Chase in this map and scrims too? Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Good to know. I mean, I think Vistola's had a really solid series so far. I've been very pleased with Vistola's gameplay on both Sigma and Ram. Even the Orisa has been fairly reasonable from at least what little we could see from the overhead, which is not much. But yeah, it could. I imagine what Batnet says about like the monkey stuff is probably more reasonable. He didn't regret bringing him in. Yeah, I mean, I mean, we'll take a look here, but I don't think like Chase is gonna be like the reason they lost this map. You know what I'm saying? I think Chase has done fine on Orisa from when we've seen him. So you know, if you're gonna end up playing Orisa here, it's not like Vistol has not been enough, you know. So I think the major issues has just been, I don't love the comps that ENCE has been playing, and I think that like Space Station's better than Mirror, but Masa doesn't know what he's doing on Brig. Yeah. I mean, Apollo 5, we've already seen this. I mean, go back to Route 66. ENCE is allergic to taking space. ENCE looks like freaking timeless half the time. Especially the supports. I'm telling you guys, like, Overwatch is taking angles in space, man. It's angles. Everyone... I know it's like I know I'm self-deprecatory humor in terms of like Spilo and angle maxing, and he's always talking about angles. Been talking about angles since 2019, but there's a reason why. It is why the Koreans have been beating on the Western players for 4 freaking years, or 5 freaking years, or 6 freaking years. They're just better at understanding map control because they've been playing dive for so much longer. You know, so it is what it is. I think the level of understanding is catching up eventually, but obviously at this point the problem is that you can understand this stuff, but actually doing it's the difference, you know. So okay, I'm gonna stretch my legs for just a second, and then we'll take a look here. Should we all play more dive? Okay, so let's talk about the Brig. One more time, just to be very clear. This is what the Brig does. Brig says... Let's actually wait until we can see a little setup here. Let me actually skip in a little bit. So here's what Brig can do. Let me give you guys a quick drawing about what the Brig does. So what Brig does, right here. Ah, frick! Hang on. Hang tight, hang tight. There, okay. Orisa here. Okay? Sojourn here. Bap here. Brig here plus Tracer. And what the Brig does is she's able to control an angle. Like she's able to hold a spot on the map and pocket somebody there while still being able to threaten the ability to push somebody while still being able to pocket her BAP without actually physically being on top of him. The difference between Brig and Lucio is that Lucio could do this too. Do the pocket, the DPS, the push thing, all that, right? But what Lucio can't do is he can't pocket his BAP at the same time. A Brig can. A Brig can stay on an angle, pocket an off angle across the map, not literally, but close, and then also help somebody else as she's being here. So in a map this open, it's going to be difficult to move your Lucio around a lot. So the range of armor packs is really, really helpful. Really, really helpful. So what you do is you'd have your Tracer mirror up here, mark their Tracer, but this Tracer gets Brig help. So what ends up happening is you have a Lucio plus Tracer mirroring a Brig plus Tracer, but the difference is that Brig can pack the BAP while also taking the 2v2. You get what I'm saying? And unless you actually push the Brig, which can be very difficult to do in an open map, then the Brig's going to get more value than you. The problem with Brig is when there's a lot of movement. Like let's say this little group here, this Lucio plus Tracer wants to move to a different angle. They can do it quickly. Brig cannot. She's slow. I don't mind the Brig. I mind how it's being played. So the problem here already is that if you look at the setup here, Brig is standing behind BAP. BAP doesn't need help. BAP isn't being proactive and taking an off angle. He doesn't need the support. Tracer will be. Tracer needs the support. And also, I don't like the angle that Kev is taking here either. Does that make sense? Now, there's also worlds where sometimes you'll see Brig being played closer to frontline, and that's specifically usually in the Sig mirror. Or not in the mirror, but like in the Sig. Because Brig can actually do damage on the front line to a Sigma. Because it's a target that you could block his damage, you could block his rock, and he doesn't just run you over like some of the other tanks do. The problem is here is that you can already see the problem is that I like the Sojourn angle here. This is good from Kai. But we have Masas basically just kind of swinging and holding this space here, which isn't terrible. Like you see that? That's not terrible here. But this has to be done consistently. So what I want to see is Sojourn poking here. This is actually not even too bad here. I don't like Kevster's angle, though. I would prefer Kev's to be wrapping this way or even going from here again. And then Masa needs to pretty much save Whip to deny the hit scan off of the high ground. You need to hold this space versus the squishies. You did not, but he's already used his Whip, and so now he's unable to stop the Cassidy from taking top, at least consistently. He's not able to poke it out. And then as the fight evolves, the Brigitte needs to continue to mark and control off angles. A Sojourn just more range here. Like this map is a little bit more broad. You'll play outside of fall off range. So basically, essentially what the Cassidy does is you have more, like what Sarah is saying, while there's more pick potential in short to medium range and a little bit more, I wouldn't say more tank pressure, but yeah. But Sojourn, there's a little bit more open space. Sparker just is more comfortable on the Cassidy. That's why they're playing the Cassidy. Now, I don't mind this setup here. 1, 2, 3, 4. But Masa needs to be really careful. And the problem here is watch what Masa's attention is on. Watch this really carefully. Do you see Masa's attention? This is where Masa fails. Do you guys see it? Where is that shield facing? Where should the shield face? Techie, think of the sub, mate.
Hi, I love taking a crap on company time, smile.
I appreciate the sub. And so what ends up happening is Landon, off of Hadi's push, takes the opportunity to push high ground, but Masa is distracted by Hadi instead of controlling the angle. And so instead of actually forcing Lamp himself on Landon, because this is crazy from Landon, he turns away and goes, oh crap, almost dies, and ends up forcing Lamp himself from Crimso. Instead of looking at the angle, he's looking at the tank trade, which then means that he doesn't control the angle and forces Crimso's Lamp. This is Masa Brigitte. And this is what goes wrong for ENCE so many times this series. And so now we've used Lamp, we've lost space, and Masa again. Like, what is Masa doing? Okay, chat. What should the rotation be from Masa here? I'm picking on Masa because Masa's the one throwing this fight. But I don't think it's fair to say that Masa may not have the experience here. Yes, walk top. So Masa needs to go here. We've rotated this way. Masa could even bash across to here and hold the angle here. Distract backline, harass backline, and crucially, assist Kevster in harassing from this angle here. Right? Not this way, not here. Stay on the flank. Control the angle. Do not let Psycho stand there. Get a better sight line for Pax. Instead, what does he do? He drops right in main into the Orisa, bashes out, and probably should die, but either way, forces resources. He's more of a hindrance than he's a help half the time. So the packs on the DPS have been continually useful from Masa. But there are major problems here in terms of how this is being played. Sparker rotating left on the angle.
Is Sparker on the flank though? Can't let him get on the high ground. Missed a couple of shots on Kevster, but here comes the first ult.
Dap window. Thank you.
From Crimso on the point as Hadi in a whole world of her. Pulse bomb
Wish we had Lamp.
lands from both traces.
I also wish my Brigitte was doing her job. What should Briggs' job be here? What should Briggs' job be during BAP window? Think about it. Look at the situation here. What should Briggs' job? What can you do through a BAP window? Yep. You can't shoot through it. You can't shoot through it. So the only thing you got to watch out for is where is Psycho? Where is Psycho? Where's the flank that's going to try and deny the BAP window, right? So your team needs to relax and focus on shooting through window, right? So the only thing that can disrupt that is Mr. Psycho. Where's my Brigitte? My Brig is trying to fish for a whip shot on Hadi. And yeah. And misses it, by the way, as well, because, you know. And then we die to pulse bomb. And we're still dying. Oh, gosh. Jordan Will, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Cheers. You see what I'm saying? Do you understand why we're putting so much emphasis on the Masa Brig here? This is why. This is why.
Almost making it 5-2. Kevs is the last remaining member. That's a 5k from Psycho.
You have to control the off angle. You have to control the flank. You have to control, and that is the one reason that you play the Brigitte plus the packs. It's not, you can't win. You can't win like that. This is the worst point for Lucio as well. Or, yeah, I mean, this is just lost, so.
But then how do you very important cooldowns to
Flanking! Flank maxing! Astro should be with us. I'm not sure where Astro is. Maybe Astro's in cart. Yeah, Landon's here. Okay, so Astro's in cart.
For Psycho to be able to come in and just take out your
Or no, Astro's not in cart. Tracer's in cart. I like that.
mortality field, and you can burst through a lot of that healing thanks to the damage passive now.
So Brick's playing with Sojourn now.
And with so many ultimates to spare.
Chase and Crimzo can't afford to be split off for the rest of their team down that little choke point there. That pulse bomb goes wide. Chase and Crimzo can't afford to...
So let's see here. What is Space Station going to do in terms of setup here? I honestly think they just need to kind of chill. They try to push. They high noon. It's honestly more for zoning, and Sparker gets destroyed.
That pulse bomb goes wide. Landon just jumped to be split off the rest of their team down that little choke point there.
Masa goes, I want to push with Rally. I want to push with Rally. They pulse. Sparker gets honestly a little too close with high noon, and there must have been some sort of a mess up with either Lamp or Javelin Spin or something, because Sparker gets railed. Astro beats late. Pulse goes wide. Yeah, that's just a very messy ult trade there from SSG. Great angle there from Kevster there. Great angle there from Kevster. That really enabled that entire play to work. Yeah, exactly, Warblip. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie, I almost said that as a word libido, and I hope that's not what it's supposed to be like. Yeah, Kevster does a good job that one. Even though he doesn't hit the pulse. So really what you kind of need to do here for your SSG is force point for a little bit further, and then right from here, try to find a way to rotate on the top. And then there's a couple of ways that you can rotate here. So one thing that people will do is you can Javelin Spin, Amp Speed, maybe even Lamp Rotate through here. That's pretty risky. Probably not going to happen. The other thing you do, you can force point, get an angle on cart with your Cassidy, and just shoot Kevster back until the cart's here. Then take the time to rotate up to top, but then this choke is really nice to get out of. So what ends up happening a lot of the time, honestly, is you kind of have to brute force top with either ultimates or just force cart for a long time. The problem here is that Space Station just blew their entire ult bank, or a lot of their ult bank, and now they don't really have anything to push top with. So I actually think that now SSG kind of has to force cart.
Pressure on Kevster right now. Magne going a little crazy.
And I think they have to force cart through the Mega Room.
Just both Tracers just jostling over the point, but Sparker is in the wings, ready and waiting for Kevster to make a mistake. And then they can take him out after that hit nade lands. Kai trying to search for some heads. Disrupt a shot.
You see, this is the problem, right? These angles are brutal.
And now with this overclock, they're thinking, they're sensing, they're coming up these stairs, and they're right to think.
I would honestly even just consider rotating back to point again. Try and set up a different flank. Yeah, that's what they do. Okay. They're going to try and rotate, but I don't know if I like this rotation. Yeah, I don't think you should try and rotate here. Like, honestly, guys, what my thought process here is I actually think you still have to... I think they're trying to Javelin backline and then force a rotation, but Chase just demolishes them. Drops in Orisa ults. I actually think that Space Station still has to, like, keep poking. I think they actually have to keep poking. I don't think there's any good solution there. I mean, obviously, ENCE does use 3 ults, so it's not the end of the world there, but that's tough for SSG. Okay. My Eastern Orthodox? No. How do teams practice for teams they don't get to play regularly? You don't really. You kind of talk about, like, the theory of how you'd approach it, but you really just have to show up and just play your thing. The good news now is that we actually have more tools to force high now. If we could get like a high noon or whatever, there's Tracer forcing point. The problem is that Tracer gets full pocket. There's the rotation. Do they get the rotation? They lamp for the rotation. It's fine, the lamp for that. You're good. Okay. Now you can high noon out top. Oh, that's unfortunate. All that work, and then Psycho just gets picked. Ouch. Because you could actually high noon with this here. Yeah. And then that allows you to close the distance onto the backline if you can find them. Masa's on the flank. And the Sparker drops, but that's a huge error there. Sparker should not have dropped. Sparker needed to stay top so they could actually rotate this way with Lucio's speed. So uncharacteristically poor positional choice there from Sparker. And obviously starting with losing Psycho there really makes that tough.
able to heal himself back up, but still no ultimates being used on either side. Kai's the half.
So they're going to try and beat out the choke. That should not work, but maybe they can close the distance there. They don't hit the pulse either. Orisa ult is used. They're trying, man. That pulse had to hit, though. That pulse really had to hit. And then also, Astro really needed to stay on top. I think he's trying to help Cart, but honestly, Astro needed to either... Man, I don't know. It's tough. Like, Astro needed to try and maybe even... Honestly, even being here would be okay. Like, they kind of need some sort of presence on top because they're not actually controlling top with this. And then Sparker just gets rolled because where is Sparker? Well, Sparker's in Mega and 1 HP. He does not quite get to Mega. He gets isolated and picked. Yeah, Astro I think is out of position there. I think forcing point with Tracer was not the play for Lucio. I think that's going to be it. Yeah. Yeah, so SSG has some solutions with how to break this high ground because I think it's really, really hard too with their comp, but they just weren't quite able to execute on them. A couple, like a Sparker getting picked and the Psycho getting picked, the beefed, the forced rotation that I didn't really love all that much, and then I think Astro being out of position there. But I don't think the idea of what they were doing was bad. It just felt like it was hard to do the rotations. No, K10, that is not the case. I think there's a legitimate strategy for it. They just weren't able to execute on it. Okay, same thing here with this, the Brigitte. You know, you force point, you use your Brig to control the high ground, control the offing, harass backline, control space for your DPS. Let's see how they approach it. Now, one of the weaknesses of the Brig is that you can pocket your DPS to control offingles, but you can't really speed to punish the enemy team taking their own offingles. You have to match their offingles, but you can't really push them because you're too slow. You can't even push their tank if they take a flank. Like, let's say there's a flank over here, and you're like, oh, the tank is isolated. Let's push the tank. You can't do that either. And that's very important here. So watch carefully. I think it was. I was watching this on my phone, so I only got a general impression, but I'm pretty sure that's important. Hey, what's up? Nice, really risky stuff from SSG there, but good denial there from Kai. Now, let's wait until everything gets cooking here, and let's talk about what this needs to be. You're going to have Orisa pressure here, Tracer pressure here. Brig sits here, whatever. Sojourn can peek wherever she wants. If they do this flip rotation, you need to disengage out this way and control space here and control space here. Let's see what ENCE does. So SSG does not fake rotate. They need to open up the Kai angle. They do. Masa. Oh, man. Masa needs to disengage, bro. I'm not going to lie. Masa needed to leave a long time ago. Because remember, you can only hold the angle when there's not a tank there. When Hadi's here, and they're still here, Masa needed to disengage and disengage a long time ago. Bashing out this direction or even towards their spawn. Again, another lamp is forced because Masa is slow to rotate. Okay, not the end of the world. Cassidy on the deep flank. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world here. So chat. Where should Brig go? How should ENCE setup go right now?
And they're just kind of corralling them behind these cars. Here's the window from Crimzo. And a rotation from Kai. This is really nice stuff. They got to find a pick, though. This is the big thing.
Do you see the problem? Do you see the problem with what's happening right now? I think SSG wins this fight, and you can already see why. When I could draw a hot dog around your players, you've messed up. Chase, there has to... Kai, Kevs, somebody has to be dueling Sparker here. You could have Brig here, plus a DPS, and Sparker, Astro, are cooked. No angle maxing at all. And Masa is, again, looking this direction. And this time, it's not just Masa. There's also actually zero attention given to this side of the map at all. Look at this. Look at this. Nobody. Look at where Sparker is. Look at where Sparker is.
Look, he's just looking straight at them. Someone's got to look at him. Kevster ends up going down.
And that one is actually less on Masa. The late rotation was bad. That one is a DPS diff. Kevster Kai, really poor. Way too much attention given to Orisa there. And Orisa just lives. Hottie just pops Fortify, gets Lamp, and every healing resource, while his DPS just do whatever the frick they want.
Perfect time for Sparker to finish out that rotation, stay behind.
That is so free.
The sound barrier is going to feel so nice to have for Chase's Terror Surge. You also have so many buildings to play around for Kai's Sojourn Overclock. Love the little rework that they did on this first point. Feels a little bit nicer to have that extra cover. But
nice little javelin there. There's the pressure. There's Orisa's speed. There's the javelin spin. Crimzo should be dead. See, here's the other thing too. You know you're going into Rizzle and beat here. So in terms of setup here from backline, I'm really not pleased that I see the Bat Brig on the floor. Bat Brig should be rolling out here and honestly even taking the time to rotate to here to take this high ground here. You're playing into a brawl backline. This is way too close. So this is a failed backline rotation. Bat Brig should have been here, here, whatever, and even disengage this direction.
Sound barriers, Terror Surge and Chase come out at any moment, but Kai is the first to fall. Whoa, that was a quick fight.
And again, Sparker's literally on the hard flank here.
Got two really big ultimates out of the way.
Now, surely.
Which, I guess saying that, that's still a lot to worry about. Sparker.
Like, I just don't understand. Do you see the problem here again? Why would my Brig not go here? Immediately force that Tracer out. Let your Sojourn walk forward at whatever angle she wants. Walk I don't understand. You have the most. I don't know. It's a rally push. I know rally's on the play here. But like again, like you just look at that. You have no speed. You cannot engage with rally. You cannot rally push any competent team because you're just going to walk into a fortified Orisa. They're going to be. You have no speed for your rally push. That they have to engage on you. And so look at that. Both BAP window and rally used, and nothing is done. Nothing happens. Yeah, the window is goofed up. And once again, Sparker's on the flank. And once again, we have a little happy group here, all in the huddle. Bro, Kai is actually ulting on the flank, and Moss is not anywhere even close. That was a good mark on the Tracer there. Man, he dies. All right, what happens here? What happens to Landon? Oh, Kevster just clips him. Oh, and it gets railed, and then yeah, that was a little bit cheeky. I'm not gonna lie. That BAP window was too soon. That was honestly a big troll from Landon. That's actually why they lose this. That's actually why they lose this. Landon kind of beefs that.
30 seconds to go. There's still a retouch.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. Why the Brig? Check to the start of this map. We talk a lot about it in depth. So, and there's the Lucio swap. They give up. All right.
Here we go. How does ENCE do this dance now? Of course, they were expertly led Space Station.
So, wait. Mousa goes back Brig. Okay.
Space Station weren't able to kind of get on top of them.
So, again, it's really hard to take high here, but you can do it. You can do it, especially if you have BAP window or Sojourn ult. You could take high. I want to see what ENCE did earlier, or what SSG did earlier, with a lot of forcing cart and then finding times with which to go top. Because the good news is that there's a chance that maybe you just catch somebody like the Tracer with the rail. Yeah, the Lucio swap was probably because he thought the fight was still going and wanted to get back fast. So let's see what happens here.
Body is a terror surge. Psycho is working up to another pulse bomb as well.
I don't like the position that they're supporting Cart from. They really need to rotate to underneath. Ironically, when they probably should be playing underneath. There we go.
Kai's looking over there.
Okay, we have Rail. We're still forcing Cart. Now we should probably rotate.
Jostling on the payload again. It's just both races. Here comes the Jostling on the payload again. It's just both races. Here comes the push. Sparker in trouble, but it's actually Marsa that goes down. A bash onto the high ground.
You know, it's actually not even a bad play. It's just executed poorly. The idea is not bad. The problem is that Masa needs to be way more cautious with his shield. Because you don't need to shield your Sojourn. You just need to AFK. You don't even need to proc your Inspire. You wait till your shield's full. 3, 2, 1, BAP window top. Push top left with Sojourn and Rail. And bash. The problem is when Masa bashes in, he has no shield. You see it's already broken? And then in addition to that, he probably shouldn't whip here. He probably should just hold the shield and then whip. So yeah, he's not full HP, he's not full shield, he misplays the micro a little bit, because this play works. Like, this works. Like, this does what they want it to do. If Moss had full shield, full HP, not only does he live, but they actually there's a chance that they win this 2v2. And it's well timed as well. Because you see this thing's getting messy. Things getting messy here. This could have been a one fight from ENCE. So it's like, even when the play's right, Moss is not a good enough brig to make it work. It's the first, it's like 50 minutes in, right after the Rhine review. You will look at the Twitch VOD, and you will see me talking about it. You could skip through it. Super simple. Alright, so they're going to force point again. I don't think that they have the capability to take top yet. Maybe with Sojourn ult. Maybe with Sojourn ult they do. They don't quite get the Javelin they need. They need to wait for Sojourn ult. They need to force card a little bit more. Oh, this is not the rotation. This is not going to happen with Lucio. Or without Lucio. And also, Kevster just doesn't get healed. It just gets picked.
Okay, rotation down to the lower again. Space station.
So here's the funny thing. You guys want to hear something funny? Check this out. How would you do this rotation with Bat Brig? Yeah, I saw Crimson got away, yeah. Check this out. Javelin spin your Orisa to here. Leave your BAP, Sojourn, Brig even here. Let the Orisa go by herself and grab Mega. Then... oh, frick, what would you do? Then maybe have your BAP... actually, your BAP can maybe meet the Orisa in here by using the verticality here. You get what I'm saying? So your BAP comes from here, your Orisa Javelin spins across and goes up top. You get what I'm saying? Because the Orisa's here. They can't kill the Orisa fast enough. Then the BAP meets here. Kree's on Mega, though, doesn't matter. If your BAP meets him there, it's fine. It's better than your whole team going there. This will never work. This will never work. Look at that. Lamp is already done. Then the beat. Like, especially not in the beat. That will never work. That is such a terrible rotation. You could have forced top with Sojourn ult as well, I think, there at that point.
Ultimates is so big to help keep Space Station in these fights.
This is it.
This is it, Jaws. It's coming down to the final seconds. It's now or never.
Kevster gets the touch. Here comes the overclock from Kai.
Oh, that's super overclocked. Super early overclocked. They're not really getting any space out of it. I would have preferred them to wait a full second or two if you actually utilize this. Because you notice that they're not getting any real space out of this here, right? Like, they've basically stayed in the exact same position, so now they're back on cart. So what you do here is you'd force cart with your core here. Then you'd have your BAP go top with your Sojourn, like, now. Because then you could get the cart to here. Then we could actually take that time to take the space. Right? You need to wait. Yeah, Chase is just melted. And the Rat Brig is so useless here. So useless. There's not even, it's not even like Omasa is bad. There's just actually nowhere for Omasa to go here.
King of Space Station
Yeah,
Gaming.
SSG just destroys it. Yeah, I mean, it's a good match. It's a great match. Very enjoyable. A lot of really heavy swings from like really high level play to really low level play. I think definitely a big step down from like what we'd expect from the highest level, but this is OWCS. There's just the level plays, I think, just dropped a little bit. Big questions around some of the compositional choices and compositional execution from the support backline. Kevster and Kai, I think as well, had weak moments as well. I think Sparker and Psycho just played really, really well when they needed to. They definitely cost some maps as well. There's some hiccups with the backbone substitution as well. I think generally Space Station Gaming looked their weakest when trying to outbrain with the Sim Ash stuff. It was either poor execution or it just wasn't. I just don't think it was good enough to make it work. Vestola, I think, had a good game. I think Kevster Kevster was Kevster, maybe not his greatest game, but it was fine. Sparker had a good game. I think Landon actually had a fairly weak game, and Aster had a couple of funny beats. But yeah. Higher or lower than Stage 1 finals? I don't remember. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, a very enjoyable series, though. How good is Mouse on a scale from Schmungus to Cheer? It's really hard to say because like a lot of Moss's boo-boos were on the Brig, which it's just like, you know, it's hard to like really. It's hard to really compare because obviously he's not as comfortable on that character, and I think there was so many issues with that. Like it's also just hard to say.